Not every geek with a Commodore 64 can hack into NASA.
This one's dedicated to all the hackers. Yo. Even out, settle scores quick. Our disaster recovery requires even more discs. Put your bytes up, prove it or you forfeit. Got my C64 and we blew it into orbit. M. Bison with 8 straight perfects. Overbold emotions make hate break circuits. In case you heard, it's a name fake service. Optimize our runtime to escape verdicts. Got an integer scope flow that they can't sign. Passing code, didn't sanitize command lines, landmine. So before they'll see me after, I'm advice star, courage, woke plus velociraptor. Don't prove we're human unless we really have to. My team built schemes that destroy, recapture. Hate what they see, finish this chapter. By the way, we're not any geeks, we hack into NASA. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Got this vodka and this Red Bull, they still give me wings. So we drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. 0 through 3, we're in every single ring. I'm just waiting till my BlackBerry dies, cause I'll replace it with the Raspberry Pi. Don't compare to this track, it makes everything they said dull. Neutralize any threat, turn Red Skull to Dev Null. They killed virus writers that we mentioned, but instead they ascended to the VX heavens, then reincarnate as live wires. Still inside we hide ciphers and sign device drivers. Which school will we hit next? They didn't learn the format, so we've got a print F. Next step is a chin check. Freestyles that I spit best, they didn't decrypt yet. I crush internet MCs and rhyme battles. Get your Wi-Fi tackled, hacked by pineapple. I don't think you'll like my Snapple, cause I popped it with vodka in a cyanide capsule. We drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Got this vodka and this Red Bull, they still give me wings. So we drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things.
You know there's gonna be security, right?
First we drink all the booze, then hack all the things. Then backdoor the firmware on anything you bring, regardless of the hardware, service or encoding. Connected to the internet and someone's gonna own it. This is for the pirates that clap and love the sound. Attacking from the cloud, then we're back in underground. There's no masking from us now. We pop tour nodes around the globe, track and hunt you down. Packed on schedule, added to your calendar. Devices online, here comes another challenger. State infiltrated, so undercover. This is for my comrades who stare at the debuggers and trace every buffer. Examining the code flow, haven't been to sleep, better pop another no-dose. I think I'll need a planet-sized urn, cause some men just wanna watch the world burn. Your turn.
Stay out of jail.
Technologically possible, yeah.
Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Got this vodka and this Red Bull, they still give me wings. So we drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. 0 through 3, we're in every single ring.
I mean, these servers have more firewalls than the devil's bedroom.
Hack all the things. Drink all the booze. Hack all the things. Hack all the things. Hack all the things. Things. 0 through 3, we're in every single ring. Hack all the things.
Yeah, well, good luck, man.
They still give me wings. Drink all the things. Drink all the vodka and pack all the booze. Drink all the booze. Hack all the hackers. Hack all the hackers.
Ladies and gentlemen and everyone around, welcome to UHC Yes, welcome everyone to UHC tonight. We have such a special edition. We do have a very special edition. I'm going to tell you why pretty soon. You probably all know about it because, you've been following us on social media and whatever. And you probably donated and all. So, you probably know what's going to happen. So just so everyone knows, welcome to UHC. You are now on UHC, the Ultimate Hacking Championship here on Twitch. This is a live CTF happening on esports format. It is originally a Brazilian competition. All the organizers and the staff and the main team, they are all from Brazil. We also have a streaming going on Twitch in the Brazilian channel as well at the same time that we're having ours. So UHC happens every week on Sunday live here on Twitch in two different languages, in two different channels here on Twitch simultaneously. If you happen to be Brazilian or you know how to speak Brazilian Portuguese, you can just go to twitch.tv dash hacking esports and you'll find the other stream. If you want to hang around here with us, please do, because we're going to have a very special night. The UHC Championship is organized by Hacking Esports, also Brazilian company. Hacking Esports does this crazy thing where they mix hacking and esports. I know, crazy, right? It is indeed crazy because it is not something that you see a bunch of people doing. I think you don't see no one doing that. So Hacking Esports is kind of a pioneer on that, on that front right there. So you can actually watch tonight a live CTF with competitors right here, right now. Everything is happening just at this moment. Nothing is recorded. You can watch them compete live here on Twitch for a prize at the end. It's going to be 10 players. Those 10 players were selected through a qualifying round, through a CTF qualifying round. The CTF is unique for UHC. So yes, UHC builds its own CTF. Every week is different. So every week is a different competition. Every week is new machines. And the person who does that, most of them, is Kadu from CrowdSec. This one here. And he also builds the qualifying rounds. So the qualifying rounds and the finals here on Twitch are two different CTFs that he builds every week. The qualifying rounds happen on the Discord server of UHC. Now, if you want to be part of the qualifying rounds, if you want to compete, if you want to just play to have fun, if you want to know other people, get to know other people and get to know the players or the community, everything happens on the Discord server of Hacking Esports. You can just type here on the chat, !Discord, and the very rude bot that we have, you will know why I'm saying this throughout the night. The very rude bot will give you the Discord public link, the public Discord link. Now, the Discord server that we're going to show you tonight here, that you're going to see the players go on about, it is a private Discord server. So just me and the guests of tonight's match have access, and the players, of course, have access to this Discord, this private one where the live CTF actually happens. I guess it's pretty much everything that I have to say. If you want to know a little bit more about UHC, and if you want to know more about Hacking Esports, you can find us everywhere in the internet. You can find us on Twitter, you can find us on Instagram, you can find us on LinkedIn. And if you want to watch the previous competitions, if you want to watch any of the previous editions with all the guests that we already had, you can go on YouTube and type Hacking Esports and watch whichever UHC you like. That's pretty much it. Oh, actually, tonight we do have something very sweet happening. If you've been following us on social media like Twitter or Instagram, you saw the the donation polls that we had for this week. So what's going to happen tonight? We're going to have IPSEC as a guest. And if you know who IPSEC is, which you should, if you don't, go to YouTube right free now and type IPSEC, IPPSEC. He's a huge YouTuber. He's a huge hacking YouTuber. We all have lots of fun watching his videos, his content, and he never officially, publicly showed himself. So he's just an avatar, even here on UHC on previous editions. So we always joked about that. And he just one day was like, you know what? I could just open up my camera, but we definitely should do a donation event for that, so everyone can have fun and we can help people that actually need to be helped. And we were like, that sounds amazing. Yeah, let's totally do that. So we had a lot of projects, a lot of organizations that we wanted to give money to, but we decided to pick just 4, and we decided that everyone should choose. Everyone should be part of that decision. So we posted about them on Instagram and Twitter, and y'all had the entire week to vote which were your preferred projects, and also to start the donations on the social media to get a little heads up for tonight's edition. So the 4 projects that were chosen, we have 2 international ones, as we say, because they're not Brazilian, and we have 2 Brazilian ones. The 2 international ones are Blacks in Cyber Conference. It's an amazing conference built for cybersecurity and technology field, and it has amazing people organizing it, and they're just marvelous. If you don't know them, you should. The other one is Women in Security, Women in Cybersecurity, and it's another one of my huge favorite ones. They're just so sweet. They have so much amazing stuff that they do for women around everywhere in the world. It is insane. If you don't know them, go to their website. It is literally insane the amount of good stuff they do and they put out there. I'm always baffled. And we have the 2 Brazilian ones, which is How Hacker Club. It is a hacker club from Northeast Brazil. They need a lot of help. They do amazing things with people from their city. And from the internet as well. They even help kids with cybersecurity, to enter cybersecurity. They have a bunch of very cool events for people starting in cybersecurity. And we also have Garoa Hacker Club, that is from my hometown, my hometown, São Paulo, back in Brazil. It is the biggest city of the country. And it is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, hackerspace back in Brazil, Garoa. And they have so many amazing projects, and they helped so many people already. They're pretty much in every hacking and cybersecurity conference, just gathering people and, teaching people and engaging and just all around having fun. And it's amazing. I personally love them. So yes, those are all the 4 main projects that we're going to be helping tonight. We have a 2K goal, 2K dollar goal of donations for any of the projects. The total has to be $2,000. And we also have a goal of 1,000 viewers for tonight's match. So let's see how we roll with that, okay? I am counting on you, and I'm just going to stop talking. I'm going to bring my co-host here tonight, since now y'all know what's up. And I'm going to let him comment on what we're doing tonight. Hi, baby. His beautiful husband and Tatey from Dual Core, if you did not know that.
Hey, I am indeed Int 80 of Dual Core. I am the rapping half of the group Dual Core. The other half is the producer, C64. Most famously, I am Marina's husband, and I will probably have that on my tombstone, I hope. If I die ever, which maybe in I don't know, a couple thousand years or something.
I don't think you're ever gonna die, babe.
Sorry to take a quick detour on a more serious note. A friend of ours of the internet, of the community, of the world, Dan Kaminsky, did pass away on Friday. He was an amazing human. Every time that I chatted with him, he was always working on something really, really cool. I mean, like eons beyond anything I would ever think about. And he was always just very upbeat and positive and friendly and excited to brainstorm ideas with you. And so I am going to have a drink right now in Dan's honor because he was a fantastic human being. And for folks in the chat, please do, in all seriousness, press F to pay respects. He was an amazing person, and I don't know that there will ever be another Dan Kaminsky. So, Dan, this one is for you. Thank you for everything that you have given us.
Thank you, Dan.
So to tonight's festivities, a lighter note. We have an awesome UHC as always. I am super excited that IPSEC is here with us and that he was so gracious to offer this opportunity, as Marina mentioned. I have to say, and IPSEC is backstage, so he can hear and see all of this. This is not a secret. And so it's not like, just between me and you, the viewer. But when I first reached out to IPSEC, I was like, hey, I'm like doing this thing with Marina where we just kind of like broadcast a CTF live. Is that something you like might be interested in, like joining us one week or whatever? And I didn't know who, I knew who IPSEC was on the internet. I'd watched a bunch of his YouTube videos, but I didn't know like him in person, or at least I didn't recall meeting him in person. And I didn't know if he had any idea who I was. And he like replied and was like, this looks amazing. Yes, like please. And I think IPSEC has hosted with us more than anyone else, if I am remembering correctly. And I mean, it's wonderful. Like to me, one of the awesome benefits of UHC is that I get to learn something new every single week. But the even more impressive part is that we basically get to like pick the brain of our guest host for up to 3 hours. And I can't think of any other forum. Like you can do AMAs on Reddit, right? Or maybe like, somebody goes live with like Instagram or YouTube or something like that, where you can kind of engage with them. But here at UHC, being able to like bounce ideas off of IPSEC and ask questions to him and, ask him like what he thinks in this situation or whatever, how he thinks about things. It's phenomenal. It's like, it's unparalleled. And so I am super grateful that IPSEC is joining us. And again, has been so gracious to give us this opportunity to raise money for a really good cause, or a set of good causes. And to all of you, all of the viewers joining us, thank you so much. As Marina mentioned, we do have two separate goals, one for raising $2,000 for charities, two different charities in the US, Blacks in Cyber and Women in Cybersecurity, and then two different hacker spaces in Brazil. And Marina will be jumping in with updates throughout UHC, throughout the edition, to let y'all know how we're progressing along. We unfortunately, I don't know that we'll have individual call outs for the people making the donations, but we will keep you updated. And then if we reach, I can't remember if it's an and or an or, but if we reach it, one or both of those goals, we will get to see IPSEC's face. And I'm still, I'm not sure that it's
it can be and or. We can decide that tonight with everyone.
Yep. Well, definitely tell your friends, bring your friends in, right? If we get 1,000 viewers and each person donates $2, that means we hit the $2,000 mark and the 1,000 viewer mark. But I'm still not sure whether IPSEC's an actual person. I am maintaining that IPSEC
that is just straight up rude.
I think it's an AI. He's so smart. IPSEC, you're like, you know so much about hacking, like more than anybody else I've met, I think. So I think you might be a robot or some really advanced form of machine learning.
Well, I'm really glad you guys haven't hit the donation goal yet, because I'm blushing after that intro. And
yeah,
so,
we gotta believe that, right?
all you people in chat, you're kind of missing out because I guess you haven't donated, so you missed that one moment. But there will be many more throughout this event. If you donate soon enough, maybe you'll see us in frustration as we look through the screens trying to figure out what's going on.
Yes.
I think we maybe started, so I'm going to skip my intro.
Oh, okay.
I think most people know me.
All right. Then, cool. Marina, do you want to do the player intro and let the folks at home know who's playing tonight?
Yep. I don't think the CTF has started already. I'm looking here at the staff chat, and no one told me anything yet. So
it doesn't look like it started. I misspoke. I just saw someone start prepping up all their commands. So as soon as it starts, they just hit enter a few times. So
yeah,
that's what I saw.
I saw the VPN config go out in the private Discord as well. And then one of the things that's really cool that we should talk about later on is
I'm sorry, it's just California here in the chat. Like I was waiting for first blood to come out of nowhere again.
So now that we've got time, IPSEC, do you want to do a quick intro?
Sure. I don't really exactly want to.
All right.
Intros about myself. If it hasn't been known before, I do YouTube channel. I try to stay somewhat private and just put the tech out there in videos and do that thing. I've been on this hacking esports, I think like 5 or 6 times. So if you want to know who I am, just go back to their YouTube channel where they log all the streams, and I'm sure you can find one of me. I mean, if you just pick one, I think there's 37 now, so you got like a 6.5% chance of finding one with me, I think.
Yeah. I like those odds.
It goes well.
Yeah, that's dope. We're definitely excited to have you here. And I am excited because IPSEC, you always cover for me when there's something that I don't know. Oh, Marina, you are muted.
Oopsie. That happens sometimes.
Not just for work meetings, also
just
for live
work
stream
meetings.
events.
So we do have our presentation here of tonight's players. It is our 37th edition. Is that it?
Yep, 37th.
Ooh, we're almost up there in the middle age crisis. Is that
UHC about to hit a middle-age crisis, midlife crisis.
Midlife crisis. Thank you. Yes, yeah. that is the expression. Okay, so we have our first player of tonight's match is Oxten. We seen this player last week, right?
Yeah, actually,
if I'm not mistaken,
the past few weeks, and I think I saw their name in the Discord, and their name is 0x10. Which, I think it's just like 10, and so I would pronounce 10, and then 10 in hexadecimal is A. So I don't know. Like I'm just gonna go with 10. I'm just gonna call him 10 instead of like A.
Bro, I'm gonna call you Oxten. If you don't like it, come here in the chat and reprehend me. I am going to fix what I'm saying. But till then, I'm gonna call you Oxten.
If he was from Canada, I would call him A.
Hey.
Hey.
Well, see, now I've got to rename our 10 Hack Commandments song to 0x10 Hack Commandments instead of 0x0A Hack Commandments.
All right, so from Brazil, all of our players of tonight's match, I think, are from Brazil. So that's cool. We come back to our origins, I think. Next player is Mateus. Thank you for the COVID awareness right there. PFF2, that's the best mask you can use. The safest one, I think, and the easiest to purchase, if I'm not mistaken as well. If I am, whatever. Just, use masks when you leave your house. Thank you, Mateus, for that reminder. Mateus is not a newcomer. Mateus is a veteran here, so very welcome again. Maybe it's your night, Mateus. We are sure cheering for you, mate.
Yeah.
We have Mr. Gentleman. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, welcome
back. We have
back.
not seen Mr. Gentleman for a while. An old-time player.
Yeah, I think so far all of the players are returning players, right? They've been on UHC. I don't think any of them have won just yet, but they're getting the hang of it. They're getting the feel for it.
All right. And we have also James Rasner is back. Another longtime player of UHC. I mean, not long, but still not a newcomer anymore. We can call you a veteran now, James.
Yeah.
We have Ricardo as well. Welcome back, Ricardo. Now, Ricardo is definitely a veteran. So welcome back. We hope tonight is finally your night. Yeah. We have Big O's in the house.
I'm so excited for Big O's. Big O's had a big victory last week, and there was kind of like this minor friendly, trash talking where Big O's was like, I'm going to beat Celesian. And he did. He really stepped it up last week. It was amazing. So I'm super excited to see him back. And Big O's like one of the youngest players here in the league. So super excited to have Big O's back again.
Wait, wasn't Celesian that won last week?
Wait, did? Oh, yeah, Celesian did win. Sorry, 2 weeks ago, right? 2 weeks ago was. I'm sorry. I still think I'm in April of 2020 or
and
March
you know
of
what?
2020.
Celesian wins so much that we just completely get lost on which week are we in.
Right.
Because the kid just don't stop winning. Oh, talk about winning. We have another big time champion here playing. So not only Big O's, he is a second time winner, but we also got Wade playing tonight, a 4-time winner.
Yeah, and Wade had one of my favorite finishes of all time, getting that final flag within like the last 5 minutes of one of the weeks that Wade won. It was incredible.
Delicious. Welcome back, Wade. We cannot wait for seeing you play. We have Luska back. Yay!
Yeah.
We love
Awesome.
Luska. Such a nice kid.
Yeah.
Those are all kids, by the way, y'all.
It is incredible seeing they're so young, but they're so talented. So I think I'm gonna have to retire soon. I'll be like 31 and retired.
No. Don't stop saying that like imposter bullshit. So yeah, we have Luska back, another past champion here of UHC. We have Prey. I think Prey have come back, right? It's not a newcomer.
I don't recall seeing Prey.
Oh, okay.
Ipsec, how about you?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna say you a newcomer, Prey.
All
and
right.
since I'm in the mood tonight, if you're not, you can come here in the chat and you can tell me. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Dang. Marina just inviting the fact checking.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
I mean, you can come in the chat and correct
You can,
us. Like we do want to
please.
pronounce your name correctly.
Yes, please come to the chat and hang around with us. Well, we got Celesian here with us, and he won like 9 times, including last time. So yeah, damn. Okay, kid.
Could be the first double-digit champion of UHC.
Could be. Wow, that would be crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when IPSEC is on, it seems like Celesian somehow hacks faster. It's like IPSEC is like pressing the turbo button on those like older computers. It just makes Celesian go faster somehow.
Is he going to be 10-time winner or 0x10 or A?
Oh man, no! It's gonna be Celesian.
I
mean, I can always vote for Celesian, then he's going to lose.
Right? Yeah. I think every time I voted for I bet on Celesian, I have not come out as ahead.
Yeah.
All right, so this is all our players of tonight's match. The staff has already told me the match has already begun, so I am going to go share my Discord, the private one, and there we go.
All right.
There we go. We have officially started on UHC tonight.
So it looks like the first flag, they have a WordPress website. I'm not sure exactly who Marina's on or what 0x10 is actually researching, but I poked around a lot of the channels. Everyone's running like WP scan and things like that. There were 3 flags for this one, I believe. One was WordPress, and it hinted at a backdoor plus XML RPC. And then the other one was an ICS. I don't know what flag 2 is, but I want to say there's just 3 flags. Yeah, XML RPC backdoor is flag 2.
Sorry, I'm gonna put my screen back. I just dropped there for a second. There you go. There you go.
And so IPSEC, have you, and sorry, admittedly I've not seen all of your videos. Have you done much exploitation or poking at the XML RPC aspect of WordPress?
I don't believe so. I'm actually going to go to ipsec.rocks and check if I have.
Nice. Yes.
We've done a lot of WordPress boxes. Let's see, XML. No, we have not done XML RPC.
All right.
But what I would be doing now is I saw a lot of people doing WP scan, and the default of WP scan is a passive scan, which means it doesn't actually enumerate the plugins. Like by actually going to the plugins, it goes and tries to read the source and get it that way. So like maybe a comment plugin changes the way WordPress does a comment, and it hitting the comment field will trigger that. You can do like a aggressive enumeration, which will actually go into the WP content plugins directory and just hit all the plugins. And that's what I'd be doing right now, because there are some like vulnerable plugins that the passive just does not detect.
Right. Yeah. And themes as well, right? Another area that you can end up having vulnerabilities because the themes have PHP. But IPSEC, more to your point, as pen testers, as hackers, as CTF players, as red teamers, we end up using a bunch of tools that other people make. And I think there's a lot of value in taking some time to look through how those tools do their thing and what other options are available, right? Like reading the help or the documents or whatever. Because if you're running WP scan and maybe you've run it against a couple systems on Hack the Box and had good success with the defaults, you might come across a different configuration where you need something like the more aggressive mode to end up getting to the point where you get this first flag.
Yeah, and the themes is such a good call out because the second flag is XML RPC -backdoor. And one of the ways a lot of people backdoor WordPress is to backdoor a inactive theme. Because if you do that, you have no risk of taking the website down. If you backdoor like a plugin like ASCIImed or Dali or whatever the default WordPress plugins are, and you screw up, you take down the whole website and it sucks.
Yep.
But and if you like do photo.php and do it on the active theme and screw up, like people see that on the website, it gets reported. But if you just go to an old theme like 2017 that they're not using and put the backdoor there and then just manually hit that file on the server, no one's going to unintentionally trigger that backdoor. So you'll be safe just to leave it there. The downside to that is if they ever go through like access logs and things like that, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb because you'll be the only one hitting that. Right. But generally when doing pen testing, whenever they catch me, I don't view it as a loss. I view it as a win because whenever you hand someone a report and it has a bunch of bad things, if you can't mix anything good in your report, you have a greater chance of them just dismissing it because you're just handing them at, and you're like, here's an ugly baby. Like what you built it sucks. But if like in the first few pages, you do give them kudos, I find them be much, much more receptive to it. Like, oh yeah, well, it sucks that we did not update this plugin, but we did catch you. So when like the CEO goes down their throat, they're like, yeah, they kind of did their job. Like you're not there to make them look bad. And I think that's where a lot of like the disconnect between pen testers and thing is, because like it feels great to get a shell, but keep in mind when you get a shell, you also kind of ruin someone else's life.
Absolutely. And a lot of really good points there. One that I would like to extrapolate a little bit more is performing at the level of the blue team or like just above it. Right. So if you've got like all of these cool, like ninja stealthy techniques or tools or whatever, you've got ways to go undetected, see like what it actually takes to get detected. And then like work it around that level, right? Like, okay, should they be catching like a netcat shell? Yeah, probably. But like, can they actually catch it? And I mean, I wouldn't do like, just netcat by itself because it's clear text, but performing like at around the level at or around the level of the opposing blue team is a really good way to help them level up. They feel like they can, make changes. They have an idea of like, oh, okay, this is what we need to fix in order to catch these attacks the next time. And so that way it's not demoralizing. there's a book called Red Team by Mike Azenko. And in the book, he talks about how the Navy SEALs Red Team would go do these, engagements against like military bases. And then the military bases are guarded by military police. And a lot of the military police, the MPs, are like 18-year-old kids that just came out of high school. And meanwhile, the Navy SEALs are like this elite squadron, right, with all this training for covert entry and everything. And so they would come in as like these very stealthy ninjas and, get all their objectives, not get detected. And it was demoralizing to the MPs. They were like, well, yeah, it's the Navy SEALs. Like, how are we going to beat them? We're like 18 years old, right out of high school. And so by, shifting that level to perform at or around where the opposing side is, it gives, more confidence or I guess more encouragement to the other team that they can actually level up and catch you. And I have actually witnessed where teams will just say like, yeah, like, why should we fix anything? It's the red team. They always win. And that's like not what we're going for. We're going for better improvement. Like, everything should be better. Like, you should, like, fine, we might always win, but like, you should definitely be catching us at least some of the times. And so that I totally agree with your points there.
Yeah. And you'd be surprised, like, if you actually work with the blue team and like try to get detected at some time and then kind of be like, yeah, I was doing this. And then I switched up my tactic because you weren't like doing anything. And then they'll be like, oh, well, what else were you doing? What do you need help with? Like, you may actually establish a communication line with the blue team. And when it comes to like trying to find something, they'll just be able to give you a hint, which is tremendously helpful, especially when your engagement's normally like 2 weeks or something. Like, to have some inside knowledge, like, so is there anything you want us to look at, like, in particular? Like, we're here for 2 weeks.
Right.
Our job's kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, and doing those kinds of purple team setups, right, where you bring the blue team along as like a ride along partner, or you engage with them up front to say like, we're going to be starting this engagement, and like, where are like the problem areas that you really want us to like, look at, like, where are the bodies buried, right? Or like, where are the skeletons in the closet that you want attention on, so you can get leverage to like go fix those things. And I don't necessarily like using red team as a hammer to go get things fixed, but it definitely can be used in that way. And so if the blue team has been trying to get, more visibility in this part of the network and just not being able to get there because of any given reason, you going and pointing out as a offensive operator that, yep, this is definitely problematic. Look, I was able to go in and do the worst thing possible to your business. Then like, that can give ammunition to the blue team to finally get that visibility or whatever their goal is. The problem area, the skeleton in the closet that they know about, and having that good relationship is so valuable.
Yeah. So it looks like a lot of people have now honed in on WordPress. So if we go to, can we switch to like James's screen, number 4? Yeah,
let's do that. And I just wanted to mention really quick on Ox10 or 10 or OX10, they were actually going for like one of the more advanced flags first, right? Which is sometimes a tactic that I will do on Hack the Box, for example. Like, I'll go for like root and then just like eventually come back for that user flag. And so I wonder, like, we don't see that strategy very often here on UHC, but it's kind of cool to see it there.
Yeah.
Just a quick reminder, everyone. I know y'all are used to it, but just remember, reminding everyone that we do have the betting system. So if you want to bet on whoever is going to be the winner tonight, you're going to have to do that quick. We close the betting system in just in the first hour. So bet on who do you think is going to be the winner. If you want to see the Discord rooms that you're going to have to choose for voting, you can scroll down here on the Twitch channel and you can see all of the players in the Discord rooms they are. You're going to have to vote throughout their Discord room number. So you can type exclamation point points to know how many Twitch points you have. You are betting with Twitch points. You are not betting with real money nor anything. You can only go into the betting system and you can only now purchase stuff from the store using your Twitch points if you are a subscriber. So do subscribe first and then you can bet. You can buy time of the scoreboard off. You can buy player screen time. You can buy hints to help the players. You can buy a bunch of cool stuff, but you have to be a subscriber. Now, for the Discord room numbers for you to bet, Once you know your points, you can also type !bet and choose the Discord room number of the player that you want to bet, and then choose how many points you want to bet. So first room, so number 1 is Oxten or 10. Second, so number 2 is Mateus. Number 3 is Mr. Gentleman. Number 4 is James Rasnor. Number 5 is Ricardo. Number 6 is Bigos. Number 7 is Wade. Number 8 is Luska. So 6, 7, 8, probably the the hot ones here. Number 9 is Spray, and number 10, 9 times winner, Celesian. So you can choose in whoever you want to vote, but do that fast because voting will close soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, really quickly, I just wanted to give some shout outs. I think I saw Cyberthread subscribed at tier 1, which was really dope. So thank you for helping us do what we do. And also, where was it? I'm scrolling. CryptoCat23 subscribed with Prime, and Cyber Warrior Monk also extended their tier 1 subscription through June. That is super dope. Thank you so much, y'all. We really appreciate the support.
So going back to the game, we have 3 flags. The first flag is RPC. The second flag is RPC backdoor. And then the third flag is ICS. We see a few players going for the ICS flag, and a lot of people have honed in on ICS as probably industrial control system and some type of weird, like it's connected to a SCADA device. But this is a CTF, and sometimes creators are mean. Yeah. And the people that are running like ICS exploit and things like that could just be running into a brick wall, because ICS also stands for internet connection sharing. So it could just be a tunnel hop. So like this could be just wasted time going through some type of ICS exploit thing. The second thing is, the first flag is XML RPC. The second one is a backdoor in XML RPC. And what I'd be looking for is some way, like I wouldn't be going straight for code execution based upon that information. I'd be looking for some type of RPC that'll let me list other RPC interfaces. How the WordPress XML RPC interface works is you just give it a XML file essentially, and what it is XML is a way to pass a file, and RPC is remote procedural call. So you give it an XML that just states like the method name you want to call and some arguments, and then WordPress comes back. It's just an API. It's not meant for humans to poke at. It's just meant for like a plugin or another website to query your WordPress instance easily. So what some people are doing is just some type of like brute force upon potential method names and looking at what the result says. If it says like malformed data, method doesn't exist, things like that. And a lot of people are just going through various like RPC blogs, just trying out a few method names. I think Joe right now, he's doing wp.get users blog. So you can see method name that. And then he's passing 2 parameters, the admin and the username and probably password. I'd have to go look at exactly what that one is. And he's trying like UHC admin. He tried like UHC admin before, or UHC as the user or whatnot. Let's see. I'm going to look at RPC wp.get users blog, was it?
Yeah, I think that was it.
What is the arguments? And because it's a RPC interface, sometimes there's no documentation. Like if this was a website, you'd expect it to say like the parameter, instead of saying like param, you'd expect it to be like username equals password equals. But because it's just a API, they kind of do it based upon order because they know computers are always going to give it in the same order.
Nice.
So let's see.
And I wonder, I did see somebody looking up, I think it was Bigos. They were looking up, they'd found some result for like a PF Sense, I think it was XML RPC backdoor thing. I can't remember what the XML RPC backdoor specifically was. I feel like it said PF Sense, but anyways, I'm like super curious to see how it plays out. And I have the same sense as you, IPSEC, where it's like the first flag is probably not RCE. I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe like a file read or something like that. But of course, here on UHC, we do not know what the challenges are or their answers. So all of this is speculation on our part. Yeah,
it could be straight RCE, and upon like calling that backdoor RPC method, it gives you the flag, and then you have to brute force like how to use the backdoor. I haven't seen people do like system.list methods. That's a common thing in RPC interfaces to like list what methods are available. I also haven't seen anyone like do a lot of just WP enum in the background and like try to brute force the administrative user, and maybe you go into the RPC interface that way. We do see Joe doing something. Does he have? Nope, he does not have any type of LFI.
When you say Joe, you mean James?
Oh, James, yeah.
I'm so confused.
We we skip around with the J names all the time, right? And we say John and.
So I get scrambled with the hacksaw, handles, and y'all can get scrambled with the normal.
the human names.
Yes, the human names. That's fair. I think it's fair.
Yeah,
I'm like trying to read a blog post on one monitor, looking at the other monitor, seeing a WordPress blog in like a different language. And then
right, yeah.
I'm like juggling 3 different tasks.
Yeah, James trying, it looks like some default creds there, and this is the XML schema that came back. Looks, yeah, I mean, all of this, I haven't really worked a whole lot with WordPress internals, but all of that looks pretty standard to me.
Yeah. And there he is using intruder to like brute force method names.
Oh, right. Yeah. And that is professional. Okay. So
yeah.
not rate limited. I was going to say like in the community edition, I would be switching over to something else.
See, I don't know what word list he chose. I hope he didn't do Rock You. He probably did like a top 1,000 or something. I see like I love you, princess, things like that. Like, this looks like a Rock You word list, which would be horrible to throw. Like, it's going to take forever to go through that much.
Yeah.
Not to mention, like, Burp Suite's in Java and has bad, like, garbage collection. So you're just going to hang your whole computer if you make, like, 2 million requests.
Unless you've got, like, some, workstation with, like, 1.5 terabytes of RAM somehow.
Well, I think you actually have to modify the Burp Suite config, because I always run into that issue, and I've like got a better computer, and I still ran into it. I was like, oh, wait, this is Java, so I have to go and like edit the command line, the JMX option or whatever to increase the memory.
Yeah, that's right.
I just hate Java.
Yeah, it is such a headache. I love seeing Java on other systems. And it's just got like, you do the process listing and it's just got this massive argument list like -x, some weird thing, -x, some other like weird thing. And you're like, what is going on?
Yeah. If I wanted 50 arguments, I just compile a program instead.
Right. Like, yeah. The inverse of xargs, I guess.
Yeah.
yargs. I've seen the string. So there's like that 9999 F1B or something like that. I've seen it on a couple other players' screens, and I'm curious what the significance is.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. Maybe they're trying to, like, if they put that hex string in, it outputs an integer or something.
Yeah. Is that like TLS 150 gas? I'm like, what is that about?
Is he switching a check engine light now for his car or something?
Right, yeah. BRB going to the garage with my OBD2.
Yeah. So this is also an ICS box. So he may be going to like the ICS port. Going to a different screen, we see Celesian skipping over all the flags and going straight to ICS. It has port like 1001 or something open, or 10,001. Some high number port, and he's enumerating various things. So I guess the idea of this box is you get backdoor through WordPress, and then you can potentially enumerate the ICS interface by just looking at configs. And Celesian's mindset right now is, well, I can just brute force all the options, and eventually I'll be right.
Right, yeah. I mean, at least, explore all of the possibilities and see what you come up with. And that's this is cool. There's like a separate set of Nmap scripts here that I guess are used for ICS stuff. That's really cool. I wonder if that's merged into main for Nmap or not. I guess not.
I'm guessing not if he's running it.
Yeah.
And It's worth mentioning that Celesian did get user blood on a machine released on Hack the Box yesterday, and he did it through an unintended route. So we'll see if he does this CTF through an unintended route and gets it 2 in a row.
That's amazing. Yeah, I've seen him get first blood on a couple boxes recently on Hack the Box, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say one maybe like 2 weeks ago as well.
And Venthrax has a valid point in the chat. Don't ever run Nmap or anything against ICS devices. Like,
right. Yeah, you don't want to knock those over.
Yeah. Just doing port scans against some devices will like crash it. I've seen a device that if you connected to a port, it initiated a shutdown.
Yep.
And I don't think it was there for a honeypot. That's just how the software worked. It's like, okay, it's time to shut down. I'll connect to this port. And you're like, wait, what?
This is how the shutdown command is issued remotely by just any connection randomly to the port. Yeah, I worked as a reverse engineer around the time that there was like the big article about Stuxnet. And so my manager was like, oh, can you like reverse engineer Stuxnet? And we'll like, we'll send it off to like, potential clients or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'll just go home to my like nuclear facility and spin up those centrifuges and we'll get it going. And he was like, what? And all he knew was that Stuxnet was like some malware or whatever. He didn't realize there was this like whole ICS component of it.
Yeah, that was the year like everyone wanted to get 2 water tanks in some weird ICS device. And like, we're going to secretly overflow 1 tank.
Yeah. And I've never touched any ICS stuff for like pen testing or anything because I'm just too scared of the actual real life consequences. Like I'm okay with, being sneaky in, enterprise environments where there's like lots of money at stake. You can get money back, but like, if you take out power or like clean water to like a percentage of the population, it's like the stakes are too high for me there.
Also, thank you everyone donating. We have now $1,467 to go on our goal.
Whoa!
I don't know how to do the reverse math. So
that means $533 of donations have already been made. So we are 25% of the way there for donations, and I think we're not even a third of the way through. We might be 25% of the way through UHC. So this is awesome. Thank you everybody for your donations.
And there's not a single flag got yet. So maybe this event will actually last entirely, or maybe Celesian will just go for the last flag first and grab the other 2 and end this event instantly.
For charity's sake.
There's no telling. So go donate now. Don't be waiting till the last minute. And I'll leave the cam up for the whole event after we hit either 1,000 people or the $2,000 donation limit.
Yeah.
Or not limit. You can go above $2,000.
Yeah. The goal.
$2,000 goal.
The goal.
Yeah. I wanted to say, we've talked previously on UHC about how it's kind of this community, right? Like on CTFs, it's competitive, but in UHC, the players are like, they're friends. They share advice and tips with each other, techniques that they do. And you see this on the Hacking Esports Discord. So if you want to be part of UHC, you want to play in the qualifying rounds, maybe even the finals if you qualify, definitely join the UHC Discord. But in the UHC or the Hacking Esports Discord, I'm sorry, in the Discord that we're on right now, the private one for the event tonight, right before the event, all of the players were sharing their like initial recon scripts with each other. They were like, this is how I kick off like automated tooling when I like start on UHC. And so there was all kinds of things where, like some people were hitting the API for the scoreboard to get the challenge details and then piping that output into like other tools to start doing enumeration. Some players had, a collection of tools running and then like grepping for the UHC flag in the responses. So just really, really cool stuff to see that collaboration and people kind of building each other up. Yeah.
And also like, I've lost count at the number of people that got jobs because they played UHC.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Pretty much all
and
of
players do look at things like this.
There is a company in Brazil that hired, I think, like 5 or 6 of UHC winners as trainees and like juniors and all of that. So we already, we We have you on site, y'all. We see you. We see what you're doing. You're taking your boys away. We're very thankful for that because those kids will have a lot of time to grow on their careers, and we're very happy with that.
So what we see right now on Celesian screen is Celesian is actually running Metasploit and then just running through the auxiliary actions for one of the modules. There's an auxiliary module for what's called ATG client, which I have no experience in. I'm just reading the MSF console. But Celesian just kind of like, pushing through all of the available options that they could try sending data to this service. And so maybe if they get, a hit back or something like that, something lands. So far, I haven't really seen anything, but there's that 9999 FF1B. So I guess that string is, like some proprietary protocol or something potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe a hex value to indicate like what command is being sent or I don't know.
And ATG is also the Nmap script he pulled down from that ICS repository. So he really thinks it's going to be this type of device. And I'm just going to laugh if it's a troll and it's like internet connection sharing.
Right. Yeah. And we've definitely, I mean, ICS is exactly that acronym in Windows, right? And so we've definitely seen Windows here on UHC. So it certainly could be, it could be just a Windows internet connection sharing thing. And you just need to grab resources off of another box, grab the flag off of a different system. Let's see. So
Luska is doing something interesting, and I don't know how he's the only one to do this. He went to like /x like. Oh, I think he just edited the URL and I was looking at it wrong. But right now, a lot of WordPress instances don't put index.html in directories. So if you just go to like WP includes WP content, you may just see things. So he could go potentially to a plugins folder and see what plugins are installed this way. So he's just kind of like manually enumerating WordPress right now, trying to find something. And what I would be doing here is probably looking at timestamps because it is a backdoor. So there's probably going to be something on an odd timestamp.
Yeah, and we do see we see a number of entries there were April 15th. So that is what just about 10 days ago we can change. So yeah, maybe those files are of interest or something that is just, completely anomalous, like 2011 or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. He's also running GoBuster. What else is he doing? Doesn't look like much. I would also be probably on like the WordPress GitHub page and comparing directory names. Like I think a directory IXR. I don't know what directory that is, but I'd be like, the top two, ID3, IXR. I don't know what those are. So I try to be like finding the difference between what's on like a normal WP includes and what's on UHC.
Yeah, and that is such a great approach, abstracted out for many things, right? I see so many times when people are like, oh yeah, it's this. And I know because it just, it stands out to me. Like I've seen these things before. And so it's like, yeah, great. Like we're good at building pattern recognition, but like, how do you build that pattern recognition without having to fail a bunch of times or having to like look at the same thing over and over and over? And so my recommendation has always been like, look at the comparison. Like what does the plain install look like? What does like the default look like? And you can do that, in a number of ways. In this case, like you mentioned IPSec, you can go to the GitHub or like wherever the source repo is and look at like, okay, yep, these are the differences. I'm going to start poking at these. I love Docker for this, right? I can just spin up a quick Docker container and be like, okay, this is what it looks like with, a default install or even a virtual machine if I need to. But having something to compare against so that I can quickly be like, these things are different without having to have looked at it for 100 times previously is so beneficial. And I kind of see people missing that recommendation. It's more of like you just got to get the experience. Like you don't necessarily have to. You can get there faster, I think.
Yeah, and one of the things I think you can do to kind of like improve upon that is there's the Hack the Box Hacking Battlegrounds, and it's a red blue team event where you just go and play it. Actually, it's Cyber Mayhem in that. There's now Server Siege, which is like a King of the Hill, but I really like Cyber Mayhem because it stresses.
First Blood.
Who is that?
Oh snap!
Oh, who got first blood?
I forgot to load the
Ricardo.
scoreboard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
Let's bounce.
My man is coming front. Yes, Ricardo. Woo.
Low octane. What is that?
My man.
We're learning something new. And see, I think that's impressive, right? If you hear IPSEC say, "What is that?"
I think he's going through the ICS potentially. Low octane is looking like it's automatic tank gauge ATG system.
Oh, all right.
So that's interesting.
Wow.
But as I was saying, like the Cyber Mayhem, you get 4 blue castles, 4 red castles, and everyone, I mean, it's the same 4 castles for both teams. So you can log into yours, kind of see how it's configured, and then launch your attacks. And that's the same thing with this. Like you do a Docker run WordPress, Docker exec bash into your WordPress, and now you can just examine it. I don't know if there'd be one for this, but maybe there's like an automatic tank gauge Docker system because it is installed by like UHC, and they do like, I can't imagine they spend a long amount of time configuring each machine because they do so many machines per week. Like you got this event, but you also have the qualifiers. So that's like probably 4 or 5 machines a week this guy does.
Right. Yeah. And I just wanted to point out, I think, so I'm looking at the scoreboard and clicking through to like see Ricardo's solves. It's got the category listed for the ICS challenge. That's what Ricardo solved as IoT. So it does seem like it is not just internet connection sharing. It may also be internet connection sharing, but it is something like device related, it appears.
Yeah, and he's going to dig into this more. Maybe there's a way to get code execution out of it, but maybe there's not.
Yeah, and I guess we didn't see that actual flag happen, but yeah. So it looks like this is a honeypot, and so maybe that's actually what's running on the other side here.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, now that one guy looking up like a car PDF makes much more sense.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Like seeing low octane, I was like, what?
Yeah, and you know, it's funny. They're like, it literally is hack all the things. There's so many things that are computerized now, right? One of my favorite concepts is people are like learning to crack software so that they can pirate firmware updates for their John Deere tractors. And I'm like, that, in what future does that ever make sense? Like anywhere? Like I'd never thought that would be a sentence that would ever be said by anyone. It's like, oh yeah, I gotta get good at reverse engineering so I can till my crops. Like what?
If you had to guess which company has the largest automated fleet of vehicles, what would it be?
I mean, are we counting like airplanes as being automated since they have autopilots?
Yeah.
Okay, I would probably guess one of the airlines, maybe.
John Deere.
Is it really John Deere?
Tractors.
Wow. I didn't even realize that tractors had, like, I get that totally makes sense that they have automation. And so
Yep.
Are they completely humanless? Are they all self-driving?
I think there's a lot of tractors that are, yeah.
Wow. What a time. What is this cyberpunk dystopia that we find ourselves among? That is super cool. And I mean, it's terrifying to me that you potentially have a large percentage of the population going and just being like, oh, I'm just going to download, this firmware patch for my tractor so I can get it to keep running and I don't want to pay for it. And now, like, imagine that you have, 1 out of every 3 tractors or something like that is running some pirated firmware patch with a backdoor in it. And maybe it like disables the tractor or, bricks the tractor. And now like your food production drops by 1/3 of the entire country. It's like, oh my God, that's terrifying. And it's all because of, some kind of essentially like maybe like a supply chain attack or whatever. And I'm just like, wow, like who would have thought that you could, strongly interrupt the food supply of a nation because of hacking?
Yeah. And not to mention if it's like coordinated and they also like destroy all the freezers and fridges, like
Right. Yeah. You take the electricity grid down or whatever, and then you can't even keep the food around anymore that you've harvested.
Oh, scoreboard is down.
Who is that? Nahum Sek?
Nahum Sek, are you there?
I think he said he wasn't feeling well earlier, so hope you're feeling better. I think he was supposed to
Hope you're
scream.
feeling better too. But Nahum Sek, if you're out there, you're supposed to say it. It is against the law if you're out there and you put the scoreboard down. The law is you have to say it.
These are the UHC rules. We don't make them. We just deliver them. Venethrax says the mining industry in Australia actually has more automated vehicles. That's an I didn't even think about mining as another place with automated vehicles in it. Wow. Interesting. What up, Ofja? Good to see you in the chat.
Oh, I think we found our culprit.
Yeah.
Culprit. Oh, that's a hard word.
I see some emojis there from Ofja with the angel and then two little devils. So.
Lusko also got the ICS flag.
Oh, sick!
That's how he did it. He used low octane again, or someone else used low octane to get it. So I'm guessing there's something with that Python script.
Yeah, it looked like in the history when we were checking out Ricardo that I think they had just pointed it at some IP address, and so I don't know what exactly it did in the background to be able to surface the flag.
Yeah, I think Wade is getting close to it. Oh,
nice. Let's keep an eye on Wade and see if we can get some more info here. So I'm really confused about the theme with these challenges, because WordPress and ICS are two things that I have zero association of. If you were let's do word association. Like when I say ICS, what do you think of? If you gave me 1,000 words, WordPress would not be in any of those.
I think what world is a WordPress box connected to an ICS box? And it may just be two completely different boxes.
Right. Yeah, it totally could be. And Kadu was just you know what? I just have some really fun ideas that I want to try out, and that's what we're going to do. I remember a friend of mine, two friends of mine. Sorry, they're married. They did research on ICS or SCADA systems in prisons, and so they're like, oh, this thing is going to get published coming up. Check this out. And I was like, I'm reading it and I'm like, why is this a big deal? It's a prison. It should be it's an isolated building, right? And then I get down, partway through and I'm like, oh, and it's the command center is internet connected. And I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, why is this connected to the internet? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Blue Dragon Sec and Venthrax have some good points in the chat. So the honeypot listens on TCP port 10,001 or 1000001, or it listens to a high number port and only responds to one function code. And all other function codes from the client result in that 999 FF1B, which means function not recognized. So maybe you just have to make a call and do the function code I20100 and you get that flag, because that's the only one it responds with. And then Ventrax says, the vendor website could be running WordPress for an industrial device for firmware software upgrades. So you hack the WordPress, you get that. That does make sense.
Yeah. And so maybe that XML RPC backdoor is a firmware patch backdoor, not necessarily a backdoor in the XML RPC.php file, I wonder.
Or they hacked WordPress and then tainted the ICS device. And what people are doing, maybe it's not I20100, but maybe they're just brute forcing the function code range. And one of the function codes gives you UHC. But if you're on the WordPress, you may be able to see what the attacker did and get the function code that way.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I just saw Wade downloading a manual as us hackers do. Spend a good amount of time reading. I'm going to check in on Prey real quick. Again, Prey we think is a first-time player here, and I do see on Prey's screen that they are also getting this 999 FF1B. So it seems like they are also poking at the right thing, and they're using Pwn Tools, huge favorite of mine. I love Pwn Tools when I have to like write code for CTFs. IPSec, I don't know that I've seen you use Pwn Tools in your Hack the Box videos. Do you ever use it?
Yeah, I use it quite often actually.
Okay.
There's just not too many like binary exploits in it, but
Yeah.
there is like a Bitterman video where I do Pwn Tools Beginner and Pwn Tools Advanced at the end. So like we do the binary exploitation, kind of just like walk through it, and it's like reallocating, like pulling all the locations out of libc. And then after we do it once, like all manually, I go and be like, oh, or you could just use Pwn Tools this way and have it automatically rebase for you.
Ooh, nice.
So like Bitterman is like my knowledge of Pwn Tools. It's like 2 years old, but I mean, I haven't done too much more in Pwn Tools. So that's still my go-to video. Like whenever I do a binary exploit with ROP or something, I go back and watch Bitterman. Nice.
And folks on the stream checking this out, if you go to ipsec.rocks, you can type in Pwn Tools and it will load a list of results. Although it doesn't, I don't think it lists that particular video, but still you can get amazing content from IPSec and themed by searching on ipsec.rocks. 773 process 312. I don't know if you just go by process or what your handle is, but thank you so much for subscribing to us with Prime. I really appreciate the support. Thanks for helping us keep this going. Let's see. I'm gonna jump over back to Prey. I'd gone to ipsec.rocks and then I started to go down a tunnel searching for things, and I'm like, wait, hold on. It's such a good setup, man. I really dig the site. I love that you can just quickly type things and get the videos that have the content that I'm looking for.
Yeah, best accident ever. When I was like doing tagging in the descriptions, I never that didn't cross my mind, and there was like one of those eureka moments where like I could just like have a bot pull all these descriptions, and it would be so handy.
Yeah, and it's all client side JavaScript, right?
Yep.
Yeah, super cool. I don't know how you manage that, because every time I have to fight with JavaScript, it is 3.5 headaches at least.
Aw, thank you, Venethrax, here in the chat saying I'll also match $10 for every $100 in the donation once it's over. Whoa. That's super nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Venethrax. Really appreciate that. That's amazing. I love when folks do stuff like that. I listen to NPR sometimes, and they're like, "We've got a 2-for-1 match," and it's definitely encouraging. Like, "Oh, my money goes even further." Like, that's awesome.
Just so y'all know, we are collecting donations here. Tonight is the special IPSec reveal edition. He's opened his webcam. Once we have reached our donation goals, which is we are trying to collect $2,000 and spread that money for 4 organizations chosen by our own crowd throughout Twitter and Instagram, and a little bit about them is one of them is Blacks in Cyber that you're seeing here on the screen right now. They're amazing. They have this super amazing this hacking conference with a lot of amazing content. And anyway, they're just a very nice organization. You should totally donate to them. And we also have Women in Cyber Security, and they're also extremely amazing. They have orgs around the entire world for all kinds of women around everywhere, and they put money and they help them with their education and with their career, with women's career everywhere around the globe that they want to be in cybersecurity. So 2 amazing organizations here. The other 2 are 2 Brazilian hacker spaces. Hacker clubs. They have been struggling because of the pandemic. The pandemic back in Brazil is awful. It's been awful since it started. It's still very awful. It's still level 4. So the hacker spaces and hacker clubs are losing their places. So we have Raul and Garoa. One is from North Brazil, the other is from South Brazil. They're both amazing. Garoa is actually the first hackerspace ever in Brazil. So you can choose the organization that you want to donate. Just choose an organization and donate, please. Those are all organizations that are they're doing amazing jobs, amazing works, helping people all around the globe, and they do deserve your donation. Plus, IPSAC will open his camp, so that's cool.
Yeah, so definitely go donate. We need how much more? I'm looking at the bottom of the screen. Do we know what we're at now?
I have it. Yes, we need more.
1390.
1,000. Yes, 1,390. How do you say that? 1390? Is that it?
1390 is what I said. But 1,390.
Yeah, I still don't grasp on that. Like,
I probably say it wrong. I'm used to reading
hex
hex at like 2 bytes at a time. So I see 1390.
I'm right there with you. I say 2021 instead of saying 2021.
Yeah.
Like too many syllables. But yeah, great progress. Thank you so much, everybody, for the donations. Again, they're going to good causes. We truly appreciate all of the donations, as well as Dr. Payload subscribing to us with a tier 1. Thank you so much.
I love your handle.
Yes. Dr. Payload, PhD, MD, 90/bin shell.
All right, let's check the scoreboard. Scoreboard is back, and we have Luska and Mateus right there.
Yeah. So 3 players on the board now, having solved that ICS challenge.
Did they all win for the medium one? Is that the first one or the medium one?
I think it's the medium one because it's worth 200 points. I think the first one's worth 100, right?
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I think they just changed it up, and maybe those flags are unrelated. We'll have to find out once someone actually finds the WordPress flag.
Right.
And a lot of people have used the WP scan, but I haven't seen anyone do like the aggressive enumeration. I'll be so happy if that like is what it is.
We're looking at Prey right now, and it looks like Prey has kind of switched off of the ICS track and then over to the XML RPC stuff. And from what I recall seeing on Prey's terminal previously was that they were getting that 9999 FB, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so it seems like they were, at least communicating correctly. And it's just they need to find, that right message or that right code or that right payload, that right doctor payload to send to that remote service so that they can get that ICS flag. So it seems like they're pretty close.
I just can't imagine the stress on everyone when someone saw, oh God, they got the ICS flag. This event's going to be over. Like, oh, nope. They're not tied together, at least not tied together super closely.
Yeah. And cool. And searching that, so it's FF1B, searching that hex string. There was an article there at the bottom of the results that said something like,
can a gas station be hacked?
Yeah. Which I'm like, I mean, obviously, yes, but now I have to go read that article to learn more. And when I think of gas stations getting hacked, I think about skimmers, right? That's where I think of the hacking, not like, the actual gas pumps or anything like that. And I remember my mind being blown learning about skimmers with Bluetooth, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, skimmers, it just seems so high risk. Like you got to take the thing apart and then you got to come back and like retrieve that device, put a new one in. And it's like, and then it's like Bluetooth. Oh, you just drive up, collect the data, clear the cache, and then drive back, another week later or whatever. And I'm like,
they even brilliant. Have them with Cell.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Right. And I mean, things just get smaller and smaller and smaller. It's impressive. Yeah. You see like the OMG cables, right? It's literally like an iPhone cable, except it's a hacking tool. But it looks like identical, at least as far as I've seen. It looks identical to the iPhone charger cable. And I was like, how?
And when you hear what it does, you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah. like before I thought I was being, pretty smart about just not plugging into random USB ports. And now I'm like, oh, it's like any USB cable that I've accepted from somebody, like, or things that I get in the mail that, come with the USB cable. I'm like, has this been replaced with, something that's actually evil? And like, how do I figure that out? And it's kind of scary if you think about it too much.
No, I did something similar to that on an engagement a while ago. This is pre-COVID, but it was a physical engagement, and we replaced all their MacBook power cables with like OMG type cables. Because the MacBook switched to USB-C for power,
right,
off of MagSafe. So we had a bunch of those just backdoored.
Oh wow, that's impressive. Is that something that y'all custom made, or is that something that the rest of us can go out and buy from a site somewhere like Hack5 or something?
I think OMG cable may support it now.
Oh, nice.
I think. Let's see. It was a coworker that found them and bought a bunch.
Ah, very cool.
Let's see. OMG.
USB-C on either side?
Yeah.
Wow. And MG, you got the crazy skills, man. We love you. You are super talented.
But can you imagine?
I'm sorry, we just had a donation here in our store, in our Hacking Esports store. Y'all, if you want to try to donate to the organizations of tonight's charity donations, you can go to the link that we have here on screen or that we are posting here on the chat. That is the link where you can choose the project that you want to donate, and your money goes straight up to them. And they're just letting us know, because all of them are online here with us in a chat group, and they keep updating us on the donations. So you can just go straight up to their link. Don't worry, we already found the one that donated here. We are going to give the money straight up to them, but since we're gonna probably do that through PayPal, it's gonna have a fee. So just so y'all know, go straight to the link and you can choose the orgs yourself, and you can donate straight up to them. So you don't have to put the money on us.
And for Figure 8, the people that run the charity are in contact with UHC to give like that information, how we get the updates, how much money is there.
Correct. Yep. I think Isa, our stream manager, is in contact with the individual organizations. And yes, as Marina mentioned, that's the really long link tr.ee/UHC IPSEC Reveal Edition. Surprisingly, UHC IPSEC Reveal was already taken, and so was IPSEC Reveal Edition 1. So we ended at UHC IPSEC Reveal Edition.
You're an asshole.
I kid. Somebody's out there like typo squatting all of these different like transpositions, and they're sending people to like Rick rolls and stuff. Hopefully nothing awful. I used to love typo squatting domains and phishing people. Always super fun. And transposing A and E or whatever. Now there's like tooling that will do that for you, right? I've seen it. I can't remember what the name of it is, but you can run it against a domain and it'll be like, here are all the domains that are like, look very similar that you could like go register.
Yeah. And I want to say the guy that does BetterCap also did one, but based upon like the Unicode symbols that also are valid for URLs to make it look even more.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good point. I always forget about that stuff like Unicode and Punycode and all of that. At work, our video conference stuff, it'll put like the company name next to your name, but it does it off of your central directory information. So I was like, oh, can I like sign out as a guest and then sign back in with my own name, but then figure out some way to like make it look like I'm an employee of the company, but I'm like really signed in as a guest. And I got it like kind of close using Punycode, but it didn't look exactly the same. So the keen observer would spot the difference, but I think most people don't care. And also the people at work that know me are like, oh, that's just David being David. like on more than one occasion, people are like, why do you have emoji in your name? And also how?
I just I don't understand how like pony code stuff can send email. Like, I don't know what like web filter in the right mind would be like, you know what? Some domain may actually use pony code that is like legitimate.
Yeah.
Like, you can't type that on a keyboard. It's
right. Yeah.
Probably
exactly.
not going to be something used legitimately.
Yeah. Well, make yourself flexible. You never know what the future is going to be like. Maybe in the future, it is supported. Maybe we get different keyboards that have, different inputs or something.
We just get neural links. We just think up things.
See, that's what I want. I want to do a thing where I just like plug in, I, take a 10-second nap and then I know Kung Fu. That's what I want. Because then I'll be on UHC as a player. Right. And I'll just be like, I know hacking, and then I'll just be in here getting flags. No problem.
This episode may not age well because the fourth Matrix comes out.
Oh,
that's like December 12th, I think.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that they were filming that. Wow. I'm excited. I actually liked all of the Matrix movies. I mean, obviously the first one is near and dear to my heart, but I'm a person that I enjoy getting more content of the universe, right? Like same with Star Wars, and people in the chat, you can diss me if you want. I'm okay with it. I've got that sense of self where I realize this is how I am, and that's okay. But I like getting, more bits to the story, even if the story sometimes just doesn't make sense, or you have some annoying character in there named Jar Jar Binks or something like that. I'm okay with it. I like getting more of the story.
Yeah. Like once things hit sequels, I realized I'm not going to see an A movie. Like the Mortal Kombat that just came out, I enjoyed it, but I didn't go into thinking this is going to be a good movie. I went in like, this is going to be a B-rated movie that just has some fun action and makes me laugh.
Right. Yeah. And I think kind of setting that bar definitely helps, and just being like, cool, I'm going into it with these lenses on, and these are my expectations. I'm not expecting to get, blown out of the water like I was in the first one where it was, earth shifting or whatever. I think that also really helps.
Yeah. And the bar setting is super important. Like if you don't do that for yourself, I don't know how you live. Like all the people that like stress over OSCP exams, like the worst that's going to happen is you fail and you don't really lose money, because if you just skip the exam or don't take it out of stress, you lost the money anyways. Yeah. So just like do it and get the experience and be like, oh, well, I failed, but at least I know I did the binary exploitation correctly. Like I know what I need to study. Like it's not like failing's a bad word even. Like you just learn what you need to do. Like it's
Absolutely. That's I saw somebody asking for like interview advice recently, and I always think about in interviewing, if I'm interviewing somebody, I want to know like how they learn, versus like what they've learned, right? Because if they can learn new things and they can learn things quickly, or like if they can deal with failure really well and use that as like a pivot point to be like, okay, I tried these things, that didn't work, let me like shift to something else or figure out where I need to change stuff. That's what I want. I don't need to know, like how much stuff you can memorize. I need to know, like, can you actually end up solving the problem? Blue Dragon Sec. That's like questionable interview advice.
I mean, that's not like post-COVID world. I mean, you can take an interview now without clothes.
Use clothes. Yeah, you can use clothes, top up.
Or just like a really good Snapchat filter, right?
Yeah, I mean, for all you know, I don't have clothes on right now doing this.
It's true, yeah.
Like,
oh my god!
I may see us get to like $400 and be like, "Oh, I got a BRB. I got to put stuff on."
We gotta raise the bar, y'all. We go have nudity. And live.
With that note, Isa lets us know that we have just above $1,200 left to raise. Ipsec, how far away is your closet? Just out of curiosity.
No stairs involved, so you hear me winded.
Oh, no. It could be like one donation that comes through right now for $1,238, and all of a sudden we catch Ipsec off guard. Ipsec's going to be like, oh, sorry, I'm stepping away to the restroom really quickly, or I'm filling up my water bottle.
But back to the interview thing.
Yes.
The one thing I always laugh about is like when people prepare for interviews and like prepare like all these weird questions, like I need to learn all the like steps a computer's going to take to resolve a website. Like in my mind, I'm like, you know what? As someone that does interviews, if I ever have to ask you that question, I'm probably just killing time and trying to be polite. Like the goal of you as being interviewed by someone should be to like say something interesting and go on that topic. Like if you do UHC and you mention you do UHC, I'm probably going to talk to you about 15 minutes about your experience doing UHC or Hack the Box or things like that. And if I waste 15 minutes of that 30-minute block, like that's 15 minutes. I can't throw you a curveball of a question you don't know.
Yeah.
Like just doing these cool extracurricular things just help so much. And the main goal of the interview, I think, at least for me, is are you going to be a good fit for the team?
Yep.
It's not whether like you know the information, like knowing it, that's fixable. Like we can send like you can get classes, things like that, but like work ethic, attitude, how you mesh, how you talk, those things like you can't fix.
You can. I mean,
well,
I've practiced a lot.
Your face.
Well, you can fix like no, you
can't
as a
fix
person
your
can fix,
face.
Right.
but the company can't.
Right. And in some cases,
Just kidding.
yeah. I like what you're getting at though, and especially with the original topic of failure, right, and how you deal with failure. And so, if you're like somebody that gets like analysis paralysis, where you think about all the potential options, and you just spend all this time trying to figure out what is going to be the perfect route to like complete the project, like you're going to end up, not completing your project, or you're not going to get there on time. And so, I always like the saying. From a previous job, done is better than perfect. And I always liked bottom up testing, which is like I learned that from the book Black Box Thinking. And it's just all about like you try things, you see what works, you iterate, and you just keep improving, right? And so getting to an MVP, like a minimum viable product fast is like really important, right? Focusing on results. Like when you have to like present your project, nobody cares, or you do your red team readout or whatever. Nobody really cares if you like tried 500 things, 498 of them didn't work. What they care is, did you actually get the thing done in the time that you were projecting? And like, how good is it? Right. So if you're like, oh, like I didn't get, the customer database because whatever, they stopped listening at because.
Yeah.
And so, but if you're like, I got the customer database, and like, here's like all this other stuff. It actually adds a lot of cool things to the story. And going back to your initial point, Ipsec, about like giving the blue team kudos where they do things well, you can also give that kudos to other teams. Like, oh, the network segmentation was like so good that it was like really challenging to navigate. Right. And that's great. Like that's something that the company is doing well that you should, advise them of and recommend that continued behavior.
Yeah. And then also, if you go pen test them in a year because they chose you again because you did a good job, you look at the report, be like, oh, it's these people that do good network segmentation. Okay, I know not to go waste time doing that.
Yes, yeah, absolutely right. Or you come more prepared, where you're like, okay, I struggled on on pivoting through the network. I've got to like work on my pivoting skills or my toolkit or whatever. And so if I draw that same client in a year from now, then I'm better prepared. And who knows? Hopefully they've leveled up as well. And so maybe you're back in the same boat where you think you're in good shape, but you still got a lot to learn.
You at least go back to them and be like, you know what? Well, this time I have Frogger, so I can hop VLANs. I have Yesenia, so I can attack OSPF routing or EIGRP. I can do those things now. So maybe I'll throw this at them. Yeah.
Excellent points. Basically, everybody should always be leveling up, always.
Yeah. And about like the anxiety, just like OSCP or any type of exam. I mean, if you don't get the cert, who cares? The same thing can be said about doing job interviews. If you're one of the people, like I was one of those that had like anxiety talking to people, like the best way to do it is just apply to a bunch of jobs, even if you don't want the job, because you'll talk to a recruiter. It's their job. They're getting paid to do it. You're not wasting their time, and you'll just get practice. So when you go to a job you actually want to do, you've done it 50 times. So you know what works, what doesn't work, and we'll just do better.
It's an excellent point. I got better at sales because I started going to DEF CON. So I had these dual core CDs that I wanted to sell. and I was trying to sell them to people that had never heard our music before. And so in practicing over and over and over, pretty much anybody that would walk anywhere near my table, I'd be like, hey, how's it going? Like, hey, what's up? Do you like rap music or just something to get their attention, right? And then I would start talking to them about, who I was or whatever, and figuring, like, doing so many iterations, you kind of figure out like how to formulate your sales pitch. Like, okay, that sentence is like too long-winded, or it's like too much information. Like, really what I want to get to is, listen to my music. This is what it's about. And then like, tell me, do you want to buy it or something like that? Exactly. Practice all the things. I think in Black Box Thinking, they talk about this with the comedian Steve Martin, who's like, old comedian, but the same approach where Steve Martin would just do these like really short stand-up gigs very early in his career. And doing his stand-up comedy, he would try like one new thing in every single stand-up that he did. And so he would just see like, how did that go? Or like, if I try moving that new piece like into a different slot in the routine, how does it react with the crowd? And so you're just kind of like fuzzing, right? You're just, okay, let me try this. Yep, that works well. Nope, it didn't work well. And you just branch and you keep iterating. And I think that's so important for hacking.
Yeah. And even then, even when you practice, it's okay if you don't do like a good job. When I do my videos, like every week, I've done it for like maybe 4 years, maybe 5. I don't know how long I've been doing it, but I still struggle in that intro. That first minute of the video is probably where I take most of my time. And kind of what you said, done is better than perfect. I learned I can't do that intro, that first minute. I can't start off with that. I record the whole video and then go back to do that first minute, because I record that over and over and over again. And like trying to get it perfect. And then like, I'll be like, oh, wow, it spent 45 minutes trying to get this 1 minute. Like, yeah, I can't record the rest of the video now. Like, I got this 1 minute, it's perfect, but it took 45 minutes.
Right. And then it wears on you, right? And you're like, you're burned out. You don't have the energy to make it through the remaining hour and a half of actual hacking.
Yeah, my throat is hoarse and everything. It's like, wow, it feels like I've been talking for an hour and I haven't ran Nmap yet. Well, actually I have, because I always run it ahead of time, but right. It's just one of those things, like, just kind of learn yourself and try different things. Like, I thought recording the first minute was the stupidest thing ever, but it's one of those, like, by the time I get to that minute, I've done that hour and a half, I'm burned out. I just could care less. I just want that piece done. And now it takes me like 5 minutes. And that's not because of all the hours I put in doing that. Like, I just started doing that a year ago. And it's just like, oh, it's done now. This is good enough. Like...
And I do that with recording as well on the rap side. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I really need to nail like the chorus of the song. And so I'll just start with the chorus first, and I'll like only record the chorus, and I'll make sure it's as close to what I can get as I want. The like done better than perfect part applies, because in my head, I have this idea of like, this is what it sounds like, the finished product, but I can never get my voice I can't get everything exactly right. Something is always, just a little bit off. And in the past, I would give it, hundreds of takes, and I would still never get it to like the actual point. So I started. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
Oh, so I would start just accepting like, yep, I'm not going to get there. It's got to be done. It can't be perfect. So, 98%, 99%, close enough. And then sometimes, I'm like, I generally think in like a chronological order, right? I'm going to start with the intro, and then I'm going to record the first verse, and then I'm going to record the chorus, and then I'm going to record the second. But sometimes, I'm like, oh, I want the chorus to sound like a little more raspy. So I'm going to make sure I do it last, where my voice is like a little more worn by the time everything else has been done. And just, that's like all that repetition of figuring out what works, what doesn't work, iterating and improving your process. And the same with writing as well. Sometimes I'll like be totally blocked on how to start a song. I know what I want to write about. I know like I have, the plot line mapped out or some really good ideas of points that I want to cover, but I just can't come up with that first line. So I'll just start writing something, and at least getting something started gets me going. And then sometimes I just backfill it. Right. And sometimes the thing that I write is like the second line of the song. Sometimes it's like the last verse. There's definitely times where I've written songs and I'm like, I need to know how this ends first. so that I can make sure I can get to this ending point. And then there's other times where I write the last verse and I'm like, yeah, like I just can't figure out how to start the song. So at least I can get something down. And then in doing that, it all kind of, fills out on its own. So it's a universal approach that I think seems to work pretty well.
I used to run into a few of those issues whenever I was getting myself ready for physical pen tests. I used to do a lot of physical pen tests when, there was not a pandemic going around. And I would kind of try to build this character beforehand and do the homework there, do the OSINT and all of that, and build your pretext and etc. But back in Brazil, there's a thing that nothing fucking works. Absolutely nothing works as you expected. It is a cultural thing. Like, people are late. They are not where they are supposed to be. There are people like working and, reforming and redoing something. And there's like how do you say, minute work in between you and where you need to be. Like, they're doing heavy work.
Like construction.
Construction. Thank you. That is the name. There's like construction going on. The building that you're supposed to go, the client gave you the wrong address. It's actually the building in front of that one. It's always a big mess. So no matter how well you train yourself and you build your pretext and you study your target, obviously you gotta do all that. You gotta do the basics. You gotta, you don't put yourself at risk not being prepared. You have to be prepared. But it is pretty much improv at a lot of times, and you gotta be ready. And by being ready, I mean just be on your feet, work on your toes, be ready to be surprised, because sometimes even if you worked yourself, to the point of exhaustion the next day and you have everything prepared, it doesn't even matter. It will not matter at that point. So it is important that you do something, at least something. You have some background on your hands right there. But the truth is, at the moment of truth, when you're in the middle of your physical pen test, it doesn't matter. You're gonna have to improv. At some point, you're going to have to improv. You're gonna have to feel, oh crap, my target didn't came to work today. So who's gonna be my next target? Who's gonna be a target that I can reach, that I can actually call my actual target, so I can use that person to get the info that I need? Or like, the door that I should enter is actually not a door. It's a driveway. So how do I get a car to go into this driveway? Should I, get into someone's car? Should I, go rent a car or whatever? At the end of the day, it kind of doesn't matter. It does matter, but that you did something. But it matters way most that you were yourself prepared in some way than all the way prepared.
Right. Yeah. Don't sacrifice success just to try to find the complete and perfect answer.
That doesn't exist. I'm sorry.
Sometimes it does.
People in the chat, are you sure is okay to pen test the wrong address? That's why you gotta be very quick on your feet to understand that you are in the wrong address, and like, oh crap, how do I go back to the right address and not get caught by the police? Because this very weird thing just happened right now. It happens, people. Brazil is a mess, believe me.
Also, process or 773 process 312 asked about your screen that you've got there.
Which screen? The little thing here. This is a speaker box. It's a little Bluetooth speaker. It's called Divoom, Divoom, am from Marina. It's a little Bluetooth box.
Nice.
This is pretty cool for those who like 8-bit art. It is a bit expensive, but it's worth it because it has an entire community of people doing 8-bit art, so you can actually update everything that's going on screen with other people's arts or yours your own art as well.
I see Ill Will in the chat. What up, Ill Will? And saying every time Ill Will runs Nmap, Ill Will hears IPSEC saying it. And then Figure 8 said, if you don't hear IPSEC saying it in your head when running Nmap, are you really running Nmap?
We've got a hint. Apparently someone bought a hint and it's now live and it is now on screen. Thank you, Magno.
Yeah, that's Magno, who sometimes hosts on the Brazilian Live and also, I think, made the Kubernetes challenge when Ian Coldwater was hosting with us here.
Yeah, he did.
So yeah, the hint, you're looking for the class WP XML RPC server on GitHub. Try to get this file in the server. So
it's an LFI, it looks like.
Either that or an arbitrary file read, right? Because the LFI will end up actually running the code that's in the PHP file.
Oh, yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you can't, or maybe you can get something else to find like a backup. Maybe there's a backup of the file that is not a .php, maybe, .php.back or like a swap file from Vim or something like that, that you might also be able to get access to with an LFI where you don't necessarily need a file read.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of players looking at this file. This has the method, like all of the endpoints. So I'm guessing based upon that hint, what I would be going for is, again, the like WordPress enumeration to do all plugins and seeing if there's a plugin that lets me read files.
Yeah.
Wait, there's a shell command. Yeah, plugin site editor. So he's got it. Who am I on? Mr. Agent.
Mr. Gentleman.
Mr. Gentleman, that's it.
Yeah, let's jump back to Mr. Gentleman.
I loved it. Mr. Agent.
I mean, I saw G3NT and
Mr. Agent.
So it looked like they tried to get an RCE here, but then they were using shell exec, which is one of 18 or 19 functions you can use in PHP to execute. And then it seems like shell exec is disabled in the build of PHP or through the configuration. And so they just need to use probably something else like system or popen or one of the 16 other ways that we haven't listed yet. Well, no error there.
Yeah, so you can see he viewed source, went to WP content plugin, site editor, and he was able to get the file. That's the file, the class WP XML RPC server.
Nice.
And there it is, shell command, shell exec is the alias. So he's got to figure out how to use this.
Right, yeah, so, sorry, go ahead, keep going.
The one thing I would be doing, and he keeps trying to do ls, I would be putting sleeps.
Right.
Or like a ping back to me. Because it's not always going to give you the output of the command. But if it takes like 10 seconds to run and normally takes this 2 seconds, we found blind code execution. Now I can go and play with it because I know the format of this command is correct.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. There are definitely different ways that you can test for whether you've actually got code execution. And so, doing one of those that's more reliable, sleep and some kind of connect back, those are my go-tos as well. And although I generally tend to go for the connect back first, which I really should start with sleep. And sleep is just it's an easy one, right? I don't think I've ever seen any time where I've tried sleep, it was actually working, but then, something blocked it. But I've had plenty of times where I try for some kind of connect back, ICMP or DNS or HTTP or HTTPS, and it just doesn't get through, but it's because there's, some other layer of complexity there. And the sleep is just direct, right? I don't know anybody that's if we ever see the sleep API get called, we're going to hook that and, set it to 0. I mean, sandboxes do that for malware, but I wouldn't expect it in this kind of a setup.
Well, the funny thing is, if you just put a sleep, you'll bypass a lot of AVs. Try uploading Meterpreter and then like we'll like get the interpreter shellcode, put it in a C program, and upload it to VirusTotal, and you'll get like 60 out of 60 hits or 60 out of 65 hits. I forget how many AVs they have, and then just put like a sleep 15 before you execute that interpreter shellcode, and then you'll be like, oh wow, just 20 things dropped off from detecting me. Like,
Yep.
Sleep is hilariously broken in terms of types of evasion. Only time sleep wouldn't really work is if they're forking the command. So like if they just do this system command, fork it to a new process, and they never care about the output, then your sleep's not, it's going to hang that thread, but the program itself is not doing anything with the output. That's somewhat rare to come across because most of the time people run commands, they want to know the output or at least the exit status.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't think about the forking situation. It's also still wild to me that in 2021 you can still bypass some AVs with just using sleep. I remember writing malware years ago and doing like function pointers to like stuff that's like way further down because like sleep will call some other function that calls some other function like NT delay execution or something like that, right? And so like those are the ones that I want. Like sandboxes will maybe hook sleep, but they may not hook any of those lower functions that get called further down the stack. So if I can avoid using sleep, but I can use something else that is further down and actually doing the implementation, like I'd still get the same result as far as sleeping, but I bypass the function hook, and so my code actually does sleep as opposed to getting set to 0 on the sleep call and then immediately executing.
Yeah, and my guess of what he was doing there is I think he was looking for like how to use this RPC interface because he sees like the backdoor RPC function, like that just screams that's not standard. Like
right.
WordPress is insecure, but it's not insecure enough where it has a shell exec and an RPC call.
Yeah. Although I really like this. So, like you said, the like shell command, that one sticks out like a sore thumb, right?
Yeah.
But what I did see, and we just kind of saw it get removed, was Mr. Gentleman went back, looked at the listing of methods that were available, and saw there was an upload file. And so they went to like trying that one, right? And I think that's a really good approach. Is like like fine, the initial thing that I'm messing with doesn't seem to work. What else is in there that I might be able to leverage? And getting arbitrary file right seems pretty valuable to me. I could upload a web shell, and then I could get a more reliable connection onto the box potentially.
And I think he found his mistake. Oh no, he did not.
Nope.
I want to say he forgot the value. He's got param.
Yeah.
So I think he needs value tags around this. If you look at, he keeps jumping around, but everything I see has like it's param and then value and then the command.
Oh, okay.
See right here?
Yep. Value
It's
name.
got params, param, value.
Got it. So there's actually a couple set of tags there. He's got the outer params, but then
he does not
have the inner param or the inner value. And then the other thing here is that I think that this is kind of a copy and paste problem, right?
He copies the whole thing.
I mean, yeah, that's good. But what I think here is problematic is that we see shell command maps to shell execute, right?
Ooh.
And what Mr. Gentleman is doing is running PHP code, but you don't submit PHP code to the shell execute API. You submit a shell command that you want to run. So, ls is like a valid value that I would submit, but I would do it with, something like ls-a or, -al or something like that.
I wouldn't be doing ls. I'd be doing echo.
Right.
Can you guess why I'd be doing echo?
Because sometimes ls doesn't exist.
No.
Oh.
Echo is both valid bash and PHP.
Oh, nice.
So I'd be doing that just because, like, I know it's probably running bash. It's probably running PHP. I don't know what one I have code execution on. I just want to know I have code execution, and then I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So switching to echo would kind of solve that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then you can just disambiguate after that to figure out which one it really is. Let's see what we get here.
And I'd also try changing the method name to shell exec. Like,
Oh, right. I
It's
see.
shell command alias to shell exec in that file. Like, what's the point of the shell exec? We don't know. Maybe like shell command dot shell exec. Like, I just don't know enough about the WordPress RPC interface. And turns out almost no one does here
Yeah.
because this is the lowest flag. This should be the easy one. And talking about like things just coming easy to people, like you can see everyone's struggling here. This should be an easy flag probably, but it's just one of those things people haven't ran into, and we can see like everyone's gears turning. And like both me and you, like we don't know exactly this. Both of us are struggling to try to understand it. It's not just sticking out.
Yep.
And I think that's what a lot of people like think happens. But I mean, we got Celesian here who's won 9 of these events, and I don't even think he's got the LFI or file read to read that one thing.
Yep. Also, I just saw Prey get the ICS flag, so congrats there. And then Prey immediately went to go check the scoreboard, and surprise, surprise, the scoreboard is down.
It is down. Scoreboard is now down.
And we have reached $770 in donations. There's $12.30 left.
Nice.
So don't forget to donate.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to find out whether IPSEC is a real person or not if you help us get to that donation goal of $2,000, or if you get a bunch of your friends in here and get us up to 1,000 viewers. We're currently at 143, so I think we're technically closer to the donation goal. No, I guess not.
If you invite friends, chances are they may donate, and like you may not hit the 1,000 viewers, but you got them closer to the money donation. Like it helps.
Yeah, strengthen numbers. So how is I had bounced down to see Prey and see them catch that flag. Looks like Mr. Gentleman is still trying to do PHP here.
Yeah.
Oof. And I mean, this is hacking, right? We don't. Yeah. There it is. I am well familiar with that feeling.
Yeah, but I'm jumping around and I don't see anyone else on that shell exec thing.
Oh wow.
Well,
So,
wait. Ricardo is on it now.
Oh, nice. All right, let's bounce down.
Maybe.
Yep, they definitely got it loaded on the left side in repeater.
I don't know what he was doing with that one command in the URL bar, but let's see. It's weird because the output of that is not what other people have been getting.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know if that's because he has that RSD command in there. I don't know where he got that from.
Yeah.
Wait, this isn't proper XML, I don't think. He's missing like the header. I want to go over to Mr. Gentleman real quick.
Oh, right. You have to pass in that like XML. What is it?
The version.
Something
method
1.0.
call.
Yeah.
Did he just start at method name?
Yeah, he starts at Ricardo starts at method name. And Ricardo just firing up WP scan with the defaults. Let's see.
And I think James is there as well. So everyone that has got here is struggling at XML, which isn't a surprise. It's a pain.
Yeah.
Wait. Wade just got the second flag.
Whoa. Let's check it. If I can get the screen to load. There it goes. Got ngrok set up. And Wade, one of our players using Windows as the host OS. I always love to call that out because I never think of Windows as a CTF platform unless I'm doing something with reversing.
So I'm hoping he shows the XML payload he did to do this. I don't know how he got the shell. I just saw he was like, I caught him as he was submitting. So I didn't see exactly what he did. But now he's changing up a reverse shell to be ngrok.
Nice.
And met shell command. Oh, it looked exactly like we were thinking. I think it's just a problem of doing XML.
Yep, it's got the param, the inner params plural, the inner param name. Yeah, and then value. Yep. Yeah. And so did you see, I kind of missed, like everything was in there in the value section, not in the name?
Correct. Name is blank.
Got it.
I took a screenshot so I can see it because it keeps jumping. LS does give you output as well.
Cool.
What I think people are not doing is maybe you need name. We saw Mr. Gentleman. He missed the non-plural param. It goes params, then param.
Yep.
I'm not sure if he did that once. And if he did that once and it still didn't work, he forgot to put name, even though there is no name for it. Yeah. And I don't see shell exec anywhere. It is shell command. And maybe both shell command and shell exec work because it's an alias, but you can see the payload here. And now he's going to download his shell and then probably going to try to execute it.
Yeah, let's see. It's mapping to 4444, 4 fours on localhost. And wow, I'm so impressed. I cannot count to 4. And yeah, so ngraph for folks who have not used it. Oh yeah, there you go. Command shell opened.
Yep.
That looked promising. Although then I think maybe closed it immediately.
Well, I think, did he get a command shell or not? Let's see.
Yeah, in the Metasploit handler, it looked like there was a shell that opened.
Oh, it said Meterpreter?
No, it just said command shell opened.
It may have just been on, like, it was listening. This could be a case of you stand up the reverse shell handler, and then as soon as a connection is made, it assumes that is the reverse shell. But he was doing wget. Right, so he may have just been testing that it was working.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, here we go. All right, so generating a new shell here, new payload with MSF Venom. I feel the pain with the lag. I hope we're not hurting Wade's connection by everybody viewing. Igor's on there as well on the Brazilian live, so there's like 4 different people watching.
I'm curious how he runs MSF Venom on Windows. This is interesting to me.
Yeah, I wonder if it's
Ruby, so it runs. I'm not sure if he's doing like he just has Metasploit installed on Windows. I was curious if he was doing like Linux on Windows or whatever that is.
Right, yeah, the Windows subsystem.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that was my initial guess, but you're right. It is Ruby. It's an interpreted language. They have builds for both operating systems or all 3 of the top operating systems. I wonder if there's like, could you imagine running like Ruby on Android? Seems like it'd be painful. I guess there's a Kali build for Android, right?
Yeah.
They're ARM, so yeah. There you go. Interpreter session opened. Oh wait, maybe that was the ngrok thing. Sorry. Yeah. I get excited when I'm like, "Ooh, session opened!" Yes. Whoa, folks donating. Thank you so much. Keep it coming. $1,043 left to go. We're at the halfway mark almost. We are going to find out whether IPSEC is a deep fake or a real person. I hope.
I'm not a cat.
That sounds like something a cat would say.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I will say, IPSEC last week you posted the photo with like the puppy, and you're like, oh yeah, like I don't watch UHC on my computer, and so I guess I don't normally see puppies hanging out with cats, so I guess that is kind of evidence. Now you might be a lawyer, and claim to not be a cat. Who knows? Oh man, that was amazing. IPSEC, you were on that week when that meme happened, and then you posted that overlay. It was so good. It was so good. You totally won.
I forgot I did that one.
Yes, you were like meme presider of the internet for that day.
So it looks like Wade, like, this is one of the things I don't show in my videos when I struggle with because it sucks. He's got code execution and he's trying to do things, but he's just like, his mind is burnt, I think.
Yeah, there's a couple different challenges to navigate here, right? You've got your XML has to be well formed. Then inside of the XML, you potentially may run into parsing issues, right? So like LS worked totally fine. But once you do like something with a space, there might be a challenge. Maybe there's some like characters that get filtered on the back end by XMLRPC.php. So you've got like, as your payload grows in complexity, you end up with more challenges. And one approach that I've seen that seems to work pretty well is base 64 encoding your payload and then piping that to base 64 to decode it.
Yeah.
And so that way you kind of take out, a good chunk of the character set. Base 64 is like all, ASCII printable, and yeah, so that might be an approach that I would consider here. Wade kind of jotting down some notes, it looks like, to build out like his map of how he's going to accomplish this, which I like. I like to sometimes be a bit more verbose. Oh, wow. Let's see. How many folks do we have watching now? 153. So if everyone donates $5, that gets us to our goal. And right, and because Venethrax is matching $10 for every $100 that we've reached. So yeah,
he's donating around $100 right now.
Yeah. So Venethrax, thank you again. Very generous on your part. And yeah, we need what is it? Just right around
$1,000, I think. Right.
Yeah, right. Because if we've got almost 1,000, that means that Venethrax is contributing 100 to it, which then brings down the remaining amount to about 900. So yeah, that is amazing. Again, thank you so much for your generosity, and super excited. I'm feeling good. I think we're getting there, and there's 1 hour left.
Yeah, and this is one of the things I don't like about Ngrok, and I really like about Celesian setup is he uses AWS and just forwards all the ports to the instance. The thing I don't like about Ngrok is you're like limited to one port.
Right.
And that's just like, it sucks when you want to like host a file server and a interpreter handler. Like It's just painful. If he was doing this all within like an AWS EC2 instance or something, then he's just like, yeah, I just open another port. That's all I do.
Yeah, I am a fan of having the VPSs, and I tend to do my CTF stuff out of DigitalOcean. It's like $5 a month for a droplet. So if I forget, I leave it running, $5, no big deal. If I turn it off right away, it costs, I don't know, like pennies. It's like so cheap. And so to me, spending those pennies or even that potential $5 is way more valuable than having to figure out how to hop through Ngrok, for a savings of $5 potentially. Yeah,
I use DigitalOcean as well. And what I do is I install WireGuard on DigitalOcean and connect it back to me.
Yep.
And then just use IP tables to forward all the packets back to my box.
Ah, very nice.
Because I go in the DigitalOcean I stand it up, spin it down, delete it, I don't like losing stuff. So instead of working out of DigitalOcean, I just use it as a router. Ah. So it joins me in WireGuard, so it's on my local network, and then IP tables forwards all the ports I want to my box, so I'm happy.
That's really cool. I think that sounds like a really neat YouTube video to make.
It is. I'm like on the fence of doing those things because like it can be used for bad. Like, I don't know. Like I want to try doing that in a way that has a lot of benefit as well. Like,
sure.
That's just like when you get into that type of evasion techniques, it's only going to be used for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair point. And that's an awesome consideration, right? Because I tend to like not have that bigger picture thought or mindset. And I'm just like, here's a cool thing that I figured out how to do. Let me show everybody how to do it. And my intention is like, oh, this is like really helpful for CTFs. Someone else is like, oh, here's how I can do cybercrime. And then laughs in cybercrime, so that's a really good consideration.
That's why like I don't use any clickbait in any of the titles I have really. Like it's just Hack the Box machine name because in my mind, it makes it harder for bad people to find it. Yes, there's ipsec.rocks, but I'm like, for some reason, the website's like a hidden gem to a lot of people. Like the people looking to do badness are the ones that are on Google, like Googling, how do I hack S3? Looking for YouTube videos specifically about S3. And as long as I have like evade those search results, in my mind, I'm doing like, it's getting to the better people first. Yeah,
that's a good point. Also, it looks like Luska has jumped into first. I can't remember.
Yes.
The scoreboard's been down so long, so I can't remember.
The scoreboard is just now back, and Luska is now in first place with 400 points. So I think he got the first and second flag right now. And then Ricardo in second place, Mateus in third, Prey in fourth, and Wade in fifth.
Nice. And so,
looking at Luska's screen, it's exactly like mine would be. He's got like 3 panes and then 1 pane of chaos.
Yep.
Hold on, it's going to show in a second on the stream.
Yeah, I think.
See.
Right. Yep.
Get
Although here it looks like Luska's in burp right now, so it looks like he's trying to write a web shell out.
Yeah, but in his terminal pane, it's fun. You can tell he's tried a lot of things.
Yeah.
If you ever switch back to it.
Yep. And we see a number of requests going because.
There it is.
Yep. Very
got a
briefly.
glimpse.
Sorry, the Kadu keeps screaming in the other stream to show Celesian screen. I was just curious.
Oh, okay. Is Celesian doing anything cool right now?
I have no idea. I just see Kadu losing everything in the Brazilian chat, saying like Celesian screen, Celesian screen, Celesian screen.
He's doing W fuzz.
Yeah. It's like
I don't get it.
That's not more exciting than what Luska was doing. I don't think. Maybe Celesian started doing some. Maybe Celesian started doing something mundane because Kadu started directing attention to him.
God damn you, Kadu!
Let me throw him off the trail real quick. So what I was seeing with Luska was that Luska was trying to get this web shell written out, but kind of running into that same problem where something's not working right and you're not sure why. And also another thing I noticed was Luska's writing to a file named A, but he's writing PHP code. And so if you go to like browse to that file, the web server is not going to understand that a file named A is actual PHP code that it needs to pass off to the PHP interpreter to actually execute. It's going to be like, here's the contents of file A, which is just going to be the PHP code that Luska has put into it. So it's just like you reading a text file as opposed to running a script.
Yeah, and James he's got command execution as well.
Nice.
And I think he's just going to say, well, as I talk, he puts NC in. He was just going around the system without doing reverse shell, which I thought would have been like, all these people having trouble getting reverse shells. Well, the flag you guys have is 200 points. The flag you're missing is 100 points.
Yeah.
You may not need a privask. I'd be like running a few commands that just do like find dot and then saving that output to a file and grepping for like flag, UHC, things like that to see if I can find the file name.
Right. Maybe like cat star and then just look through the output and be like, is there a UHC, curly brace in that output?
Actually, what I would do is I do a find command and print the full timestamp of everything.
Yeah.
And then grep out 6
There's a
zeros. Oh, he does have a shell. Sweet. So
if you go to Amor, if you go to James' screen.
Python-C input PTY.
Go. So yeah, and James, I think, actually got this through ngrok, I want to say.
Yeah. He didn't do anything special, I think.
Nice. All
right.
right.
May have just base64 encoded and executed.
Look at that. UHC, this is not a flag.txt. That was why we saw. Nice. There it is.
Does he have...
James, I think this is going to be the second flag for James. But I wonder which one it is.
Is it a flag? It's not a flag. It could be neither.
Right, you're right. Yeah, the file name literally says not a flag.
But it is.
Nice. So that was the XML RPC backdoor. All right. Yeah, I guess so. Is it in the flag name?
Yeah.
Or in the flag contents. All right. Cool. That's so funny. UHC, this is not a flag.txt. Imagine if it was actually not a flag and it's like, yeah, I told you. Whoa, Silvano, thank you so much.
Thank you, Silvano. What are we at now?
Good to know. Good to ask. I don't see any update. So last that we've heard is $1,043 or 1043 left.
So James was running locate, and I don't really like the locate command just because if the locate database hasn't been built, you just SOL. Like I said, the find command's great. And if you grep out the 6 zeros, you'll like remove everything from a package manager. And then if you just look for like plus minus 1 day where UHC, this is not a flag, you'll find everything modified when they drop that flag, which would probably be the other flag.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. And I remember we talked before about timestamps, and you were talking about how the system has like more granularity, you know, when files get created. And so when a human does something, some of those are like, you know, ending with a bunch of zeros. And I think that's like such a cool point that a lot of people overlook, that I, you know, had overlooked prior to that discussion.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I was showing that in a hack the box machine. I've done it like 3 or 4 times, but the first time I did it, I found a rootkit I left in my own box when I was developing a rootkit because it was an Apache module that didn't have the, it had a full timestamp. I was like, whoa, there's the rootkit I made a long time ago. I wonder how long that's been there. Let's remove mod now.
Yes. Sudo rm mod. Yeah. Well, wow. Like what luck that it looks like Netcat was the thing that got the reverse shell. So what luck that Netcat was on the system. I always try Netcat last. I just never expect it to be there. But you know, that's another thing that's really fun about CTF is like the systems are intentionally built for the players to win. And so, you know, going for the most convenient thing first sometimes is the way to go, right? Like Cat here with the -E, perfect, easy peasy, it worked.
Yeah, that bash one-liner has a lot of special characters and does a lot of weird, funky IO redirects that just don't always work.
Yep, yeah. Yeah, and there's like there's one that you can do with like just I think it's just exec, but you're like piping, you know, file handles like all over the place, or redirecting file handles all over the place. And I'm like, oh my god, there's so many characters in here that something is going to trip up on, and it's like it's also one of my last ones that I actually go for. So yeah, here we are where James has the last flag, but none of the other ones, but also has no privileges to get the other ones currently.
Yeah, and have we seen, let's see, maybe it shows what user, we www data or root?
I think we're Apache right now.
Apache?
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And so there still might be read permissions that could get you, you know, I would expect you would be able to get the XML RPC. And on that note, we see folks like Celesian will pull down ripgrep as like one of the first tools that they'll add onto the remote system. And then, you know, they'll just start grepping across the entire system for the UHC curly brace prefix for the flag. So I think that is probably something that would be a good move for James in this situation. But even better would be throwing yourself a second shell so that you can start running things in the background while you poke around manually.
And what does that ripgrep do that like grep-r doesn't? Is that the same thing?
Yeah, I'm not sure like what its optimizations are. I remember a long time ago there was maybe like Silver Search or something like that. There was some variant that came out for grep. And people were like, oh my gosh, it's so faster. But all it did, if I remember correctly, was it just didn't look into version control directories. So if it found, you know, .svn or .git or what .hg, it would just like skip those directories. And that was like what made it faster. But I don't know, grep for me has always been my go-to. It's always going to be on a system. I can always use it. I may not be able to like reliably get ripgrep onto a system. So I'm just like, I will wait the extra, 1 minute for the grep to finish. And if you're feeling hyphy, you can fork out grep processes. So you can be like, here's a listing of all of the top level directories and then run a grep recursively on each one of those. And then you spawn off separate processes, one for recursively checking each directory, and then you at least get some parallelism there.
Yeah, and if you have root on the box, you can always just grep the like SDA file, and then you'll also be searching deleted files, which would be fun in pen testing.
Yes. Yeah, and in the context of the previous 2 weeks where the CTF was in AWS and it was AWS focused, that same thing applies with getting like snapshots and volumes out of EC2. When those don't have encryption, you can make a copy of those and then grep through them. And same thing. Look for the good stuff.
So just
stop run. That wouldn't look new to me. Sorry, IPSEC, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just saying there's so many greps. There's like egrep, grep, ogrep, and ripgrep. Like, I just learned flags with grep.
Right, yeah. One that I learned, I guess, in the last year, I want to say, was -F. And so on regular
That's a file?
grep. No, actually, lowercase f is the file. Fgrep internally aliases to grep -lowercase f, but -F is when you do not have a regular expression. So if you are searching for just a plain string like ent, right? Like you're like entity, like I just want to search that thing, or like no such file. That's it. I don't care if it's case insensitive or it ends with that string or whatever. I just need to know, like, is that string in the line? -F will tell grep no regular expression parsing that you have to do, and I think that actually speeds it up. Anecdotally speaking, in my empirical experience of grepping insignificantly small database or data stores or data sets. Also, IGN 173. Thank you so much for subscribing to us with tier 1. Really appreciate the support. Thank you, all of y'all, helping us out. Please keep it coming. Keep us online. Default Ccache. Wait, I was like, Kerberos? Well, this looks like a Linux box.
Linux does support Kerberos, but that'd be a first for UHC. Like, I'm actually surprised this is not Docker right now.
Yeah.
I would still be nmapping things, looking for some type of Docker or Kubernetes thing, because UHC has done that for like the past probably like 10 in a row. Like,
yeah, they've definitely had a number of finals and qualifying rounds, I think, as well, where there's some kind of container environment, which I really like. I find myself running into containerized workloads much more frequently these days. So getting that exposure and getting that experience is like very helpful. I knew like nothing about container security at the beginning of the year. And so to learn container security, one of my goals for 2021 was to complete all of the boxes on Hack the Box that have containers. And so fortunately, the new Hack the Box interface, app.hackthebox.eu, that's got like tags, which you can disable if you don't want spoilers. But I was able to just search, like, show me all the boxes with sandbox escape. And then I just added those to a to-do list, and I just like am working through those. So it's been really cool. I think the last few that I've done, I haven't learned anything new on the container side. So I think I need to maybe pivot and start digging more into like the details of like the individual technologies used in containers, like namespaces and C groups and all of that stuff. So, but still amazing, like, learning platform that I was able to go from zero to not zero in a very short amount of time and be focused. It like kind of doing, deliberate practice. Like, I want to learn these specific things.
Oh, Matil's have moved to second place now, also with the easy and medium flag right after Luska. And Oxten or 10, James and Bigos are now in the scoreboard. So we have 8 players now in the scoreboard.
Dope.
And I don't think Mateus has a reverse shell. I'm looking at his screen, and he looks like rip grep just to grep for UHC with his command execution. I don't know what OG/RG is, but based upon context, I'm guessing that's going to be rip grep.
That would be it. Yep. And that works. It's a CTF, right? You're there. You're just trying to find the flags.
Oh man, Mr. Gentleman's gonna be so upset. I'm looking at him. He's still fooling around trying to get a reverse shell.
Oh, it's a bummer. Oh wow, interesting. So in this case, it looks like maybe that was wrong. I don't know. Like it looks like Fuff was used somehow to pass the XML payload. I'm like, how is that working? Maybe.
Well, yeah, you can just put it in the data, and then he can put fuzz wherever he wants.
Right. Yeah.
So the one thing I don't see James doing that I would be doing right now is I'd be going into the the WordPress database and dumping WP users and pulling hashes and throwing those try to crack, because maybe the privesc is just a password reuse.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And also, did we see, I think I mentioned this last week, but one thing that I commonly forget to do in CTF environments is doing just sudo -l right when I get a shell. Can I just immediately privesc? And I don't think that we saw James do that. So it's going to be such a terrible feeling if we get to the end, somebody else gets that last flag, and it was literally sudo -l to get there.
Yeah, and there could also just be maybe if, instead of cracking the password, create a user, put yourself as admin, and then log into WordPress. Just see if there's any blogs in the draft folder. Is there anything around that can help me privesc?
Yeah.
And I don't think James has the not IOC, ICS flag. So that'd be why I'm going to the database. What is this WordPress? Is this the vendor that makes the ATG system?
Right. All good questions to ask. And again, focusing on the database, really good, because there are going to be credentials there, right? And those credentials may be used in other places, as you said. I see Nahamsek is in the chat and gifting tier 1 subs. Thank you, man. It's awesome. Good to see you. Hope you're feeling well. I know you weren't able to make your stream today, but hope you're feeling better. And thank you for joining us and for gifting tier 1 subs. That's amazing. Really appreciate you. And I'm just going to check really quick. I think I might know the answer. I wonder if the scoreboard's still up. Oh, it is. Wow. All right. Well,
Nahamsek is sick. He's not even thinking.
Right. the virus is countering the mean part of him or whatever he's sick with.
Or does he get points for gifting subs? Maybe he didn't have the bits to turn down the scoreboard, so now he's gifting subs to get the bits. Is that how it works? That's what he just said. That is
nice. That's amazing. Yeah, I needed the points to take down the leaderboard. But speaking of surprises, with the leaderboard still being up temporarily, a new person is now tied for the lead with Prey at 400 points.
And someone donated $500 to the charity.
Whoa.
There's now $538 left.
Oh my goodness. Holy
smokes. Was 1,000 last I looked.
Wow. That's awesome. Thank you so much to whoever did that. That is so cool of you.
Yes, thank you. I was screaming here muted, but thank you so much.
That's excellent. Wow. I'm curious. I mean, it seems like it's a straight $500 donation, right? It went from
1,038 to that.
Yep.
To 538, right? Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Keep in mind, we have if he's good for it. What's his name? It started with a V.
Oh, Venethax, right?
Venethrax. If he's good for it. That's $150 he's donating. So really, only need around $400 left.
$390 remaining. If Venethrax, Venethrax is definitely good for it. Really soon to see IPSEC. Yes. Oh wow.
I'm just amazed people watch this for what have been going on 2.5 hours now.
Yeah. I'm wondering what the curveball is going to be. IPSEC, are you going to be I turned on my webcam, but I don't have the driver, or I turned on my webcam, but Windows needs to install updates. I'll be back in 35 minutes.
Do not dare. I will find you. I will hunt you. I will tear your face open in a webcam. Do not dare, mister.
How will you know? We don't know what his face looks like. It could be some random person.
I will know. I'm that good.
I just clicked my start menu and it is yellow around my power icon.
Oh no. I can't tell if this is trolling or just really bad luck or what's happening. Oh, wow. Irvis, I hope I'm saying your name right. Irvis 101, watching the stream at 3:23 a.m. in their locale. Ooh. Thank you for joining us and staying up late. Hope you have a safe and solid Monday. I don't even think I can stay up to 3:23 in the morning anymore. I think I like those off before that.
Lies.
Well, I'm not even up past 11 anymore.
Right? Yeah, I'm like, oh, like start to feel tired. I'm like, it's probably around 11 o'clock. Yep, it certainly is. All right, I'm going to bed.
Yep. Like after this is my bedtime. Like.
Oh wow, Cyberthread joining us from Italy, or at least stating the fact that it is 3:24 a.m. in Italy. Not necessarily giving away their location as being Italy, but thank you for the fact reporting. Wow, so many people excited to see your face, Ipsec. It's amazing. And
France, Italy,
wow.
US, we're all joined here just to see Ipsec's face. That's how the internet works.
Yeah, it's incredible. Folks in the chat, if you're comfortable sharing like what country you're from, let us know, or city or wherever. But it's always fascinating to us that we're like kind of joining hackers around the world, and I always appreciate it.
Internet.
Yeah, post a picture of your house.
Post a picture of your house.
Yes, everybody getting ready to get their faces melted.
So Wade finally got a reverse shell. He did sudo -l, and it's asking for a password for Apache.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's
good
not
on,
that.
Good on Wade for doing the check. That's good. HTX, I see you, figure 8, down the street from me and Marina from Austin, Texas. Seattle, what up? Wearing my my HushCon hoodie. Which side is on here? Yeah, my HushCon hoodie. My Seattle family. 35. Wait, hold on. 3570 South Las Vegas Boulevard. Is that where is that? Is that like Caesars?
Nepal.
Whoa, you're from Nepal. Oh my gosh! Thank you for joining us from Nepal.
That is Caesars.
Is it really? I may have been to DEF CON a few times. Oh, that's sad. All right, Ipsec, you always get to roast me now for real. Anytime that I like give you a hard time about knowing the characters in a base 64 encoded string, you're gonna be like, well, you know the address of Caesars just by seeing the street address.
Peru, hi, South America,
Hola, yeah, ¿Cómo
estás?
Yeah,
there
right. I'm sorry, I'm getting my Portuguese in the mix there.
Good boy.
That's so cool. Wow. Everybody from all over Portland. What up? Pacific Northwest. Got some rap friends up there. Denver. Oh shoot. Venethrax. What up? 303. That's my family. Denver was the first stop on my 2018 tour with MC Chris and the Lexicon artist. And that show was super fun. Venue was amazing. Sound was great. Audience was just phenomenal. And it was a great way to kick off the tour. I love Denver.
So it looks like Wade thinks he has a way to write files.
Sorry, we have a viewer from Kenya, and it's 4:26 there.
Nice. Oh, wait.
A.M. Almost, so close.
6 minutes.
Waiting for Ipsec review in Kenya. All right,
Whoa.
no pressure, Ipsec.
No pressure, donors. Sorry, go ahead, Ipsec.
I was going to say, it looks like removing the pressure off me. Let's talk about the game.
Right, yeah. Speaking of, $484. Oh my gosh. All right, sorry. Let me do math real quick. 1516 is the amount donated. $10 for every $100, so $150 from Venethrax. So that is $1,666 that we are up to. So $334 remaining for Ipsec to turn on the webcam. All right, no pressure, Ipsec. On to you.
Yeah. So
back to the game.
What we're looking at is Wade. It looks like he thinks he can write to PassWD. I'm not sure exactly what gives him that impression, but he's trying to figure out how to write a password string in Unix. So it looks like he wants to create a new user, assign it UID 0, and then try to log into that user is my guess of what he's thinking right now.
Oh, I wonder if maybe this system doesn't have a shadow file. Although,
no, if you just put a password in PassWD, it's fine. I mean, it works. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or that X is where the password goes. If the X is there, then it goes to shadow. So you can do it at either place.
Oh, nice. Maybe that was like in the LinPs output.
So what I saw before, there is T that's a part of the set GID group, maybe that he misread. But the T binary had the TTY user group. So he may have been saying like, oh, set GID, T writes files. I'm going to go write this file. But it's set group ID, not set user ID. And the group was TTY. So I'm not 100% positive. But here we go. He is generating a passwd thing. So we're going to see what he does.
Nice. Also, I saw Hong Kong. Somebody from Hong Kong is here. This is amazing. I'm so happy. Hackers from everywhere. This is incredible.
It's 9 a.m. there. What? Oh my.
I don't think I've ever watched a video at 9 a.m.
This is so cool, y'all. Thank you so much.
I also saw Madison, Wisconsin. What up? What up, the Dells? What up, Madison? All the cheeseheads up there. I heard like Madison maybe was, if they're not still, at some point they were like leading the country in vaccinations. So thank you for helping keep folks healthy. Whoa, and Seoul. Oh my goodness, Seoul, South Korea. That's amazing. And I'm just like, I'm blown away. So many different latitudes and longitudes. This is incredible. I'm so happy y'all are here with us.
So I think he is. We're going to see if I'm right or he's right, because he is planning on using T.
Okay.
So we're going to see if this works. I don't think it will, but I'm often wrong. So
yeah, and T is like an excellent file. What it would be hilarious if T actually works and they forget the -A flag.
He did that. He has -A, so he appended. Okay. So let's see. Did it work? It didn't error, but it did not work. Authentication failure.
Okay.
So now he's going to look at passwd again. He's going to be like, wait, what the fuck, mate? But yeah, it's probably, I think it's set GID, if I remember correctly, based upon James's output.
Got it. That would have been so cool. Oh yeah, I do see. There's the salt, right? Is that or that salted hash?
Wait, in passwd. Well, it could have been his passwd.
Right. Yeah, that was my question. Was where was that content from?
So what he did was he copied passwd from the target, made a file on himself, put the line he wanted to in, encoded it into base64, and then put it into Notepad. And I think he did Notepad so he can make sure he doesn't grab that line break. Because what happens so often with me is I copy out of a terminal and paste it, and it just executes because I also copy that line break. And I'm like, no, I want to add some pipes afterwards.
Yep. So well, and here's the thing that's happening as well. Speaking of line breaks, is that Wade is running Echo and then the base64 blob, but Echo by itself does add a line break.
Yeah, he didn't do -N.
Yeah, so you need a -N there to get the actual decode to work correctly. Now it could potentially end up decoding correctly, but yeah, I always do the -N out of an abundance of caution. Basically, I just want flags. But yeah, although the base64 string, after it's being decoded, it's being piped to shell
on Wade.
Watching the repeater. In this case, no, it's fine. But in the repeater window, it was being piped to shell. Also, imagine like having a shell on the box. You're watching this stream. You see Wade doing this. As soon as it lands, you're like SU-Wade WD, and you're like, root shell, and then it's like off to the races.
I'm waiting for him to type ID because it's always possible he has a shell, but he's just not getting the bash. There's been so many times I've had a reverse shell, but it didn't give me the prompt, and I assumed it just didn't work.
Yep.
There it goes.
Yeah,
there he goes. So nope, he was not set GID. I was wrong there.
All right. So is that it? Is that
may be it?
Is T flag easy, or is that just like a test thing? Whoa, no, that's
got it.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So the password file was writable. All right.
Yep.
I think I've seen that on like one UHC box.
I was writable with T.
one HTTP
Maybe
box.
it wasn't set. Maybe it was both set GID and UID.
I wonder if that's in like that's got to be an intended thing because
Well,
by default.
the flag was T Privesc.
Okay.
But does he have the ICS flag? He doesn't.
No, right. So it's anybody's game still.
Oh, let's take a look at the scoreboard now with all of the players there. We have reached our 30 final minutes, not only of the game, but also for the donations. So please make sure to donate. We only need like $400, not even that. So make sure you donate at least like $5, please. And first place, we have still Luska, Mateos in second, Bray in third with the same amount of points, easy flag and medium flag. And then Celesian and Wade in fourth and fifth place with 300 points. And Ricardo 10, James Bigos, and Mr. Gentleman, everyone with 200 points. So top three is Luska, Mateos, and Prey, and it's pretty much it's in between them. I mean, it's all about them. They have 30 minutes to go, or Celesian and Wade can try to run for the heads and make a home run there, and submit the two flags that they should be submitting.
Yeah, technically each flag has been collected across all of the players at this point.
And I looked,
yes.
T is set UID as well as set GID. So I just missed looking. When I saw them scrolling through, I saw it as GID. But it's also set UID. James is trying to do that now.
Nice. I can't remember a recent UHC where this has been the case where like players have solved, each of the challenges disparately. And so there's like nothing unsolved, but now everybody's racing to just complete everything.
Which is funny because if a player was listening to the stream, like they would have all the flags because we've said how to do each one, I think.
Well, but that's the part of the thing, right? A lot of them, tonight, all of them are Brazilians. So some of them don't even understand English that well. On top of that, they are probably also watching the Brazilian stream. They are playing a very fast CTF and they are being streamed live. So it's a lot of pressure going on. It's so much going on at the same time. So maybe you're just, you're listening, but you're not actually listening. Or you're listening to both of them at the same time and you missed, your brain was doing some other stuff. It can happen.
Yeah, and it's so hard to type when someone's talking into your ear as well. So some people may start out trying to listen, be like, oh, I got this. I'm just going to listen to these people talk. And like, we talked about irrelevant things for like 45 minutes. That would just be so annoying trying to solve this.
Right? Blue Dragon Sex say hearing Portuguese and English is a good way to feel paranoid. I can get the approved seal to that. I do struggle talking, not only because English is not my mother language, but also because I am listening to both of the streams at the same time. And I'm also managing the stream here. I am replying in both of the chats in different languages as well. I am moderating both of the chats to make sure everything is in order. What else I'm doing? Oh, I'm also in the staff channel.
So I like what Big O's is doing. He's using T to try to write to the host file, and I'm assuming he did that just like because it's a safer file than PassWD. Like you clobber PassWD, you're screwed.
Right.
Clobber hosts, you're probably fine. So I like testing it out first.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got arbitrary write anywhere, you could just write a random file into exe, right? That's not something that doesn't look good.
No.
Cannot allocate memory segfault.
You did something bad.
Yeah. I'm curious what's going on there. I think need to get a new shell potentially. I'm like, I can't remember the last time I saw something like that.
Yeah, he's probably got to reboot the box. Like something he did ate up memory.
That's that Java. And yeah, we're on AWS, I believe, or historically in the past, the environments have been hosted on AWS, and typically they are that EC2.internal. Typically the instances are behind a load balancer. So, you might, that just looks not good. I would be going for a new payload and hope you land on a different instance.
Did James get both WordPress flags?
That's a good question. I thought I saw James get one other flag, but then when I went to check, I think they were still at 200. Yeah.
Okay.
So
he was taking around AWS. So it looks like he's completely off the T bandwagon.
Here we go. All right. So Big O's now with a non-seg faulting shell. That's valuable. Let's see here.
So he grabbed the password hash out of WordPress. That's a PHP pass.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yep. That $$P$.
Yeah.
I forget. Does Hashcat have a mode that's like you can also specify like a number of salts or like a number of iterations rather when you're cracking like, it's PBKDF v2 like 1,000 iterations or something like that.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure it does.
I have not cracked anything in a long time, but
you don't specify the iteration. The hash algorithm has the iteration in it.
Oh, okay.
So it would be like I think that's the one that has like an X and a Y or something. You got like two different things. It's a bcrypt like $2Y something X, and that something X is the iteration.
Got it. Okay.
I think.
So it gets parsed out of the hash, and then Hashcat just handles that automatically.
Yeah, the iteration's considered public knowledge.
Nice. Yeah, that makes sense. I know I've definitely set it in certain places. Like there's like a Etsy, I want to say like defaults file or something, and you can say like, I want my hashes to be SHA-512, and I want them to use 15,000 iterations or something, and it will change the system defaults for you.
Yeah, I remember. I forget what it was. It was Mudge from, like not the Cobalt Strike Mudge, the other Mudge.
Oh, the DARPA Mudge.
Yeah, and he was talking
Loft.
about Loft, and he was talking about things he like did back in the day, and they had like a secure box, and in order to like thwart like crackers, they changed the iteration count on their shadow file. So someone got their shadow file, the MD5 crypt or whatever it was just wouldn't work because they manually like did an edit into the kernel to change iterations.
And so like the kernel was performing some additional math. So if you wrote 5,000, it was like, I'm really doubling that, and then the kernel knows it's 10,000 iterations truly, but the the adversary with access on the box doesn't have that vantage point.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It's like it probably weakened our cryptology because we don't know what we were doing, but
right.
Our goal wasn't to stop people with money. Our goal was to stop like our threat.
Right. Yeah. There was, I don't remember if it was the same write-up or a different one, but he sorry.
Mr. Gentleman just went up in the scoreboard now with 300 points right after Celesian and Wade.
Nice.
So we got two people trying to get that ICS flag.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, Mr. Gentleman having solved both of those XML challenges. Excellent. Yeah, Mudge had this write up about same thing, like just these really, deep, low level internal tweaks that they had done on a system. And there was like some Argentinian hacker, or at least somebody that was connecting from Argentina, that still managed to like get into the system. And so Mudge is going like back and forth and, kicking them out, changing things, whatever. And eventually Mudge was just like, okay, like here, you have like root of the box now, and now it's your box. And that way, like if anything bad happens to it, it's your fault.
I bet the guy was like, well, this isn't fun anymore. Time to go on.
Right. I have lost my interest in this. Really fascinating write-up, thinking about internal aspects of Linux that you may very well be aware of, but then just using them in different ways that, you didn't think of, and seeing how effective they are. Really, really cool stuff. And that's, I presume late 90s, early 2000s, something like that. And reading that a few years ago, I was still just vastly impressed.
Yeah. And Mr. Gentleman's now trying to get this ICS. He keeps getting that 9999 FF1B thing.
Mm.
And that's just the error code saying function not available for this honeypot.
I'm looking at Wade, and Wade is doing the true hacker thing of reading through the manual on the serial interface. Also, I think it's so terrible that the serial interface in a being used in a CTF is named TLS.
Yeah.
So you're searching for TLS and you're getting not the thing that you really want. Oh, wow. This is cool. Okay. So Wade has, some kind of connection to the remote service, and then is just going one by one.
Pulling every code out of this.
Yeah. I saw Celesian programmatically do this earlier.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I think it all ran fast, and then Celesian was manually looking for the flag and scroll back. And I always, I'm so grateful for Tmux, where I can do, the left bracket and then do a question mark.
Question mark.
Yep.
That's super handy.
Yeah. Why trust your eyes? Let the computer do the work.
Yeah. There's been so many times I glance over, if you just watch the videos, I glance over it so many times and miss things, but computers don't miss.
Right.
Unless you typo, but that's on you.
You accidentally cat dev random to standard out. Oh no, that's not what I wanted.
So who would win right now if no one gets the last flag?
Luska in first place. And I think that the last time that Luska won, it was the same way in a similar fashion where Luska just got there first, and not all of the flags were captured. But Luska being there first ended up in first place and ended up as a champion.
Yeah, Luska is trying to Prevesk now. He does, maybe has the shell. He's on the GTFO bins for pseudo.
I think we are in our last 15
minutes. Yes.
Yeah. 319 remaining. And then we've got Venthrax contributing $10 for every 100. So 1,700 or 1,600 have been completed thus far. So that's an extra 160. So that actually brings us down to 159 remaining. And that number will actually decrease faster once we cross, the 100 mark on each side. So once we get to, sub 300, then that's another $10 from Venthrax. Which then gets us even closer.
Figure 8 says he put in 334 a minute ago.
Whoa.
What?
Oh my gosh.
That is amazing.
Whoa.
Thank you
so much. Wow. Look at that teamwork. Figure 8, Venthrax getting us there. Oh my goodness. Do we have confirmation?
No. I'll trust him.
Oh, there we go.
It's Ipsec.
Oh, what's up?
Oh my gosh. What's up?
What's
Nothing.
up, bro? Looking
Thank you
good.
for joining us.
Yep.
Wow, this is so cool. There you have it. Internet, the entire planet. It is Ipsec, an allegedly live human being.
Yeah, sure.
those facial expressions, they look pretty well.
Or it's a deep fake. Either or.
Yeah, really good deep fake. Well, that's awesome. And so Ipsec, this is your first video with your webcam on, yeah?
This is your debut.
No?
Nope.
Oh.
Oh.
Right. Well, first video on UHC with your webcam on, which we greatly appreciate.
I mean, first video in the hackerspace with my webcam on. Before the hackerspace, I did a lot of other things in different communities for 5 or 6 years with a handle very similar to my handle now.
Ah, okay.
There's one character difference.
Uh-oh. We can run that domain typo squatter against your handle.
So it looks like Luska may actually be close to getting the last flag.
Whoa.
Is he going to do this last minute? He has key. He's echoing something. Dummy into root. Did he just do it? User dummy doesn't exist.
Almost there.
Suitor is not found.
Oh my God! Celesian just got into the first place in the last minute. He now has 500 points. Wait a minute! I think he won.
Then.
What?
He won. He got all the flags. Celesian won.
Celesian was waiting on the face reveal. Oh my gosh.
What?
Amazing.
Waiting.
Wow, that was really
I think
cool.
he was waiting.
Yeah, was he? We're going to have to ask him about that.
What the heck?
I see that the first two Celesian got at 8:30 p.m. Like my Central time, and then the third one, the last one at 8:47.
So the question is, when he did W Fuzz, was that just to screw up his screen?
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. I think it was actually like a decoy.
Okay, all right. So we are officially finished. Celesian was apparently just waiting on IPSEC to, kill the switch and win one more UHC, now becoming a 10-time winner. 10 times winner for the first time on UHC 2 digits.
First double-digit champion. And also Venithrax with a really cool clarification saying that they will match when it's all said and done, even if it goes over. So if we are over $2,000, that's at least $200 additionally that Venithrax is matching. So that is amazing. Thank you so much.
That is super cool. Thank you.
Wow, really cool. That's amazing. I am so impressed by the community that we have here. It is really cool. And IPSEC, thank you for helping make this happen.
No problem. Glad it's gone to a good cause.
Oh,
Absolutely.
we just got the update on the total right now that we had, and it's 2,181, 21,081. Is that it?
2181.
So close. God damn it.
If it was 21,081,
can't get this thing
Venithrax would be
right.
like, hold on. Oh, that's so cool. Wow. This is amazing. I'm not kind of speechless. It's really, really cool.
So I guess we go backstage and do the interview and figure out if Celesian was just holding flags, which will be funny because I said I was going to do it anyways once we go to the next thing. So if he actually lost,
you didn't want to lose. And yeah, for the folks that are here with us, what we do is we raid into the Brazilian live stream. So we'll be there with the Brazilian hosts. There will be a mix of English and Portuguese, but we'll also have an interview with Celesian and potentially the creator of the challenges. And so we'll get the full story of what the solutions were and whether they were intended or unintended potentially.
Yep. Kadu is not on the live stream today, but he is on chat because I kept seeing him going and saying like, don't say that. No, go back to your screen. So even when he's not on the screen, he cannot stay quiet. See? Right here. Oh boy. So yes, we are now starting the raid pretty soon. You don't have to do nothing if you're here in the chat with us. Just stay here and you're going to be automatically transported into the live stream of the Brazilians. And we're going to do everything in both languages. We try to translate as much as we can, so bear with us. And we're going to interview Celesian, the winner, and Kadu. Not going to interview Kadu, but we're going to get to know the walkthrough, and Kadu is definitely going to comment on that.
Yeah, dope. Wow, thank you so much for everybody for everything. Just power in numbers. Awesome to see people working together.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, we will be right there. Woo! Sick.